Today, we visit Island Rally in the NRSL League for another DRTV first. Rallycross for a trifecta of sorts. It's dirt, it's a road course, and it has jumps. So wipe the visor, tighten the 5-point harness. Grandpa, take a Viagra pill, because it's time to get it on dirt rallycross style. Next, live on DRTV.
And we welcome you to DRL Network's live coverage of the NRSL Rallycross event today from Allen Riley Raceway. As Todd said, it is dirt, it's off-road, it has jumps, something we're going to be doing for the very first time ever here on DRTV, and we're thrilled to have it here. An afternoon Sunday matinee-style race, and we'd like to thank Zach and all the guys over here at NRSL for having us out here today. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Phil LaCouse, along with Todd Stanton, Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, as always, in the DRTV control booth. A three-man team here today. Joe Allen not able to be a part of today's festivities, but as you said, Todd, you teased in the open, a first for DRTV. Rallycross style, some off-road racing with a little bit of jumps, and we like to have some fun up here in the booth, and seeing these guys just bop around this course and all the dirt and the dust that flies around, I think we're going to be in for certainly an amusing show this afternoon.
Definitely going to be an amusing show, dirt rallycross style. Jumps, as I was touching on at the top of the show, dirt, my favorite thing to do. Road course, not my favorite thing to do. And you add jumps in the mix. Oh, it's going to be one whale of a show, Phil, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen here today.
It's going to make for one wild time, absolutely, said. Something we're totally not accustomed to here. I mean, we've done some road course style racing here a couple of times. We've done dirt. We've never done a combination of dirt, road course, and then Rich Patton, you take what we're doing here at Island Rally. I know a place that you've been to multiple times, and you put the jumps in the factor with these rally cars, and all the ambience around it, and I think we're going to be in for one wild afternoon.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. This is really a fun track to race on, and for those that don't know this track, these jumps are going to be very important how these guys hit these things. If they do not hit them square and they get up in the air and they come down sideways or what have you, they're shooting off to the bushes or mountains or whatever's next to them, and it's going to be quite comical to see these guys keep this car on the track. And I've been watching them a little bit in practice already, and I noticed on some of the corners, these guys are almost getting up on two wheels, if not definitely up on two wheels at some point. So I don't know what to tell you what we're about to see. This could get really entertaining as, even during practice we see guys, fishtailing all over the place, getting off the track. It's a handful for sure.
Now, we have 16 drivers, Todd, that have showed up that are going to take the green flag for this race. But, I mean, we're endurance style here. I mean, it's something completely different natural here. So we may not see as much as far as, fender-to-fender, wheel-to-wheel type racing, as you may see just a war of attrition and maybe staying clear of traffic and logging laps and that kind of thing. So I think we get a lot to pay attention to here this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Definitely a war of attrition going on here at this rallycross. I've been watching some of these drivers take some other things around here, take some other laps around the track, hitting the jumps and already flipping up and down. I tell you what, I took a few laps around this road course, and it is not easy. Not easy by any means. I was off in the grass. I was off in the woods. I'm not a road course veteran by any sorts, but I love dirt and anything around dirt. And I went out there, ran around the track. I had a lap of 138, and that's nowhere near the ballpark. They had a 129 here, setting a fast time, the qualifying time here for this rallycross. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to all play out. These guys, you're going to see some of these guys gain some time later in the event on each other as soon as the attrition happens. You've got to be on your marks. You've got to be perfect around this track in order to stay in front of the other guys.
No, you absolutely do, and it's so much to pay attention to. And another thing to keep an eye, just kind of be mindful of here is it's 88 laps around this Island Rally road course. I mean, it's a very long race for certain. And and Rich, we talk about moderate damage here today. With the bumps and whatnot, the jumps and stuff. What kind of stuff do you think that will? Do you think that's going to play a role here, Rich, today with this moderate damage and jumping up and down off these jumps? Is it going to make for a different dynamic for us?
I think it definitely will. I think it's going to be interesting to see these cars coming off of these jumps like that, landing rough, going to cause some damage on there. So we may see when they're doing the pit stops that they get some hammering and tinkering done on their cars just to keep them in up to speed and all. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for sure.
And now we're going to send it down trackside to honor this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
And with that, the stage is set here for Rally Cross Racing. DRTV doing a little bit of off-roading here for the first time today at the Island Rally Race Course here. It's an awesome place. Have you ever turned any laps here? You know, it's really cool. 14 turns, very unique characteristics. A lot of good little rhythm sections. We're going to be in for a treat here this afternoon on DRL. And, you know, of course, you know, this race being put on by our friends at NRSL. You'd like more information on the NRSL League, they're a part of the Sim Racing Association. Check out the all-new website, simracingassociation.com. Check on the league's portal, and that will take you to the NRSL template where you can sign up and be a part of this great league. You know, they're a wonderful league, do a lot of great things with different kind of mods. I know there's an off-road supercar series going on right now, as far as a lot of other things that Zach Rogers and all the guys over here at NRSL do. So a lot of great things going on. Check them out, and, you know, thrilled to be a part of the show here today, Todd. And I believe we're about 30 seconds or so from putting these cars on the grid. So let's just dive straight into the starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup for our DRTV first here. A rallycross style here from Island Rally, starting on the pole. Driving the number 3 out of Massachusetts, sponsored by Mountain Dew. That is Zach Rogers and his dancing partner to the outside. Driving the number 93 out of Chicago, Illinois, the King DA. That is Rick Johnson.
Rolling off of a third position this afternoon will be the driver of car number 19 from Kansas City, Missouri, the KTM sponsored machine. That is DJ Curtis, and to his outside aboard car number 99, parts unknown. I mean, to talk about mystery there. The Biolart, rather, number 99, that is Brandon Hawken.
Starting in that 5th starting position, inside row number 3, driving the TDR Racing Team Crush 02 out of Raleigh, North Carolina. That's Blake McCandless and his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 15. That is out of Stillwater, Minnesota, Monster Energy. That's Joey Murphy.
Rolling off from position number 7, you know, a very familiar row number 4 here for DRTV fans. Rolling off from 7th tonight aboard car number 9 from Riverview, Florida, the Domino's entry. Of course, that's Frank Divin Sr. And to his outside aboard car number 33. You know, very familiar place to be here on the dirt from Hutchinson, Kansas, the TDR Racing Team Crush Motorsports number 33. That is Martin Karch.
Next row back, starting in the 5th starting row, inside the 5th starting row, I should say, 9th starting position, driving the number 48. That's out of Salem, New Hampshire. That's Austin LaPlante. And outside of him, driving out of Tyler, Texas, driving the GCI number 1. That's Tristan Wilhunt.
First timer here to DRTV aboard car number 8 from San Juan, Puerto Rico. In the Dirty Mo Radio number 8, that is Chris Dodd. And to his outside, making a return to racing here for the first time we've seen in a while, aboard car number 34 from Middleburg, Florida. The Subaru, that is Dean Woodward.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Starting in that 13th starting position, driving the number 76 out of Greenwood, Indiana, the Shell Vonafone number 76, that's Noah Carmichael and his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 89 TDR Racing Team Crush sponsored, that is Jack Truen.
Rolling off of our final row tonight, 15th starter will be the driver of car number 83 from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Dustless Blasting Machine. That'll be Emmanuel Hartnett. And rolling shotgun on the field tonight aboard car number 56 from Greencastle, Pennsylvania, the Pepsi Carbon Fiber number 56. That is Adam Samsel. So there you have it, guys. 16 drivers will take the green flag here. The Island Rally Raceway, 88 laps, a absolute off-road endurance race here. It's going to be quite the test this afternoon. Going to be a lot of twists and turns here, and albeit bumps and jumps in the road here, Todd. So I think we're going to be in for a spectacular here, festival. It's going to be Zach Rogers and Rick Johnson with the front row, and think about it. Something that's really new to us here as far as the off-road racing. Well, what kind of tempo do you think we're going to see out of these guys out of the gate?
I guess slow and steady is going to win the race here. You don't want to. They're going to try. They're going to try their best to try to run away and hide here at this Island Rally motocross track. Well, I shouldn't say motocross track. I'm getting my things messed up. But the rallycross track. Yeah, we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen here. Is you know, the O2 never took to the grid. Hopefully, he's going to be starting from pit road. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with some of these guys. Is I hear there's some interesting things on these paint schemes out there. I've hearing a lot of whispers in my ear. That's why I'm laughing and getting all kinds of out of shape here. But this is going to be interesting to see what happens.
I'm not sure if Rich can throw this on the screen here. No, we're just about ready to take the green flag. I was just peeking through some of the sponsors of paint schemes on this car, and one that caught my attention on the back of the viral art number 99 of Brandon Hawken. I don't know if Rich can show that in the chase here on the screen. It says, "Look, Mom, I'm on DRTV." So Brandon Hawken's mom, everybody out there watching, Brandon, welcome to DRTV. You know, it's pretty cool. We don't usually see that there on the decals on these cars, Todd, but you know, some awesome looking schemes out here, and a lot of these guys painted up cars especially for this race this afternoon. So I think we're going to be in for a fantastic show. Now, I'm not too used to this road course. Was doing a little bit of homework here a little while ago, so as we call the racing action as we normally would do, just trying my best to gauge where we are on the course. I believe we're heading up through, looks like the Valley of the Lefts here, heading up through the light bulb, which I believe is turn 9 and 10 if I'm mistaken, trying to just gauge where we are on the racetrack. Not, just be completely honest to all our viewers, this road racing stuff certainly not my forte, not where my specialty as far as being knowledgeable about anything would go. So we'll follow this along. We'll learn this road course together. All the ambience, all the jumps are is, I was out there watching these guys in practice a little while ago. They've been out here for about an hour and a half practicing, and guys are putting up some really, really fast times. Getting around this place, a 2.85 mile, laid out dirt road course, and these guys are getting around it a minute and 30 seconds. So these guys certainly hauling the mail, but as we've documented, it is going to be 88 laps around. It is going to be a long endurance race here. Got to take care of equipment. Got to get these cars to the finish. And Todd, believe they're heading off turn number 13. We're going to look for the green flag for the first time today.
Yeah, definitely getting ready to come off of turn number 13 here down the front stretch as I'm still trying to catch up with my camera views. Flagger does have that green flag in hand. We're just waiting for that pace van to move off. There is going to be yellow flags here tonight, but they are manual yellow flags. Van is off. We're getting ready to go racing. Dirt track rallycross style here live on DRTV. Just waiting on that flagger to throw it down so we can hear those loud pedals. And the loud pedals are getting ready. Green flags in the air. They are down here. Rallycross style here on DRTV, and Zach Rogers out to the early advantage. That's no surprise as he set fast time here at the Island Rallycross track.
Yeah, as they work down through the right-hander here through turn number 1, you'll see a whole series of right-handers here through the beginning part of the road course. So they hit turn 2, off over the jump. A little bit of contact there between the 99 of Hawken, and I think that might have been the 19 of DJ Curtis. I think those guys will get it all pointed the right direction, but right out of the gate here, Todd, hot and heavy over that first jump, contact, and I think that's one of the things we're going to have to pay attention to early on here is when these guys are bundled up on restarts, you may see some action like that, just like we saw.
Yeah, definitely going to see a lot of action. These guys are two-wheeling it through the corners. I'm looking at Zach Rogers in that number 3. As soon as he gets into that corner, he just banks it and looks like he's two-wheeling. He's up on them right side tires, and he's just two-wheeling there around the corners. He's hitting these jumps with a massive amount of force, and it's just throwing his car all over the place. Watching Zach Rogers, watching the 93 of Rick Johnson. He's right there with him. It's quite a bit of time back to Brandon Hawkins, who is in that 3rd spot in that number 99 machine. Then you got Noah Carmichael. He's running in that 4th spot. 5th right now is the high side hustler Martin Karch. Yeah,
Martin was up to 3rd, and he got up over the jump there through the valley of the edge of the valley there, and he just got all off the race course, got that thing all sorts of sideways. They didn't loop it, they didn't spin it out, but certainly planted himself on the brakes, and that's going to drop kick Martin from 3rd now back to that 5th spot. Brandon Hawken will claim the 3rd spot, but now Martin's going to be able to make his way around the 76 of Carmichael as Noah is off course. So move that 33, and I know we usually have an up-tempo type of style when we get on the air here, Todd, but with a race like this, we may be in for it this afternoon.
Yeah, our voices are going to be a little bit worse for the wear here towards the end of this event. But you got Martin Karch. Martin Karch did remove his way up in that 4th spot. Now 5th is Frank Divins. Divins in that Domino-sponsored machine. He has moved his way up in that 5th position. Then you also got Noah Carmichael. He has fell back to that 6th position there. And now Noah Carmichael, looks like yellow flag's going to fly out here on the speedway. Manual yellow flags here is the name of the ball game here in NRSL. These guys slowing it up, blowing it up, and figuring out what's going on. These guys going to restack, repack, and get ready to go back to green flag racing once everybody's caught up.
Well, and one of the things, we were talking about here with these manual cautions, these guys are going to race back, get all staggered back up and retake the green flag. But something to kind of keep in the back of our mind as we approach this here with this off-road rally stuff. And, we talk about it here on that initial start, seeing guys over the first jump through turn 2 there, making contact, getting all off the course, and guys upside down and all sorts of out of shape. I mean, restarts usually breed caution flags on a typical oval type atmosphere. So when you think of a place like Island Rally with this off-road type of feel, Todd, restarts may get awfully hairy this afternoon. And with any luck, we don't see a lot of them, because I would love to see these guys get strung out and actually do some racing and hit some rhythm.
Yeah, I'd love to see these guys get strung out and hit the rhythm here and see what's going to go on. You're seeing a lot of different cars through this field too, Phil. I want to hint on some of these different cars. You got Subarus, you got Fords out there, you got all kinds of different makes. You got Mitsubishi that's also out there. Different makes than what we're also accustomed to out there on the speedway. Just looking at these beautifully prepared cars, I'm telling you, Phil, looking up and down, a lot of these cars looking really, really sharp out there on the speedway. It just goes to show you how much time and energy a lot of these painters and most of these guys have spent on their cars here for this live on DRTV broadcast. And so far, they're putting on one whale of a show.
I think that was fun there for the first opening lap, just seeing how, as far as what our broadcast style would normally be, and how we have to adjust to the different ammo we have here this afternoon. So a lot on our plate, a lot on these guys' plate. These guys will be bopping and jiving around all over this Island Rally track. 2.85 miles, 13 turns, a lot of rhythm parts of the racetrack. We'll see if we can't do a ride along here at some point over the course of this couple of hours. We're going to be on the air and see if we just can't give you the glimpse of knowing what's ahead for these guys, preparing for the next corners and seeing all the obstacles these guys may face this afternoon. So 2 laps of 88 up on the board. As Todd said, it's a manual caution flag. So for our friends out there, who were requesting, are we going to see the DRTV pace van today? Well, we're not going to see the van pacing the field, Rich, but just to go out there for the pace lap this afternoon, I know we had to put the van through a rigorous test just to get out there on the racetrack and pace this field to the opening green and bring our viewers up to speed, all kind of things we had to do as far as getting that van ready for this afternoon.
Yeah, we were really stressed out about, going off pavement. That's what we're so used to, having the van running on pavement and running on high speeds. And, the van is already heavier than most race cars as it is. So we had a pretty tight suspension underneath that. But for this track, completely redid the entire undercarriage on this. 4-wheel drive is all installed. We've got mud tires on it. It's ready to run if need be. And hopefully it holds up.
Well, it looks like the van's work for the day at least may be done, Rich. So getting the first order of business for the van was just getting it out onto the racetrack, making sure we had enough to get over these jumps so maybe it doesn't rip up the undercarriage, and may have to put this thing back through a little bit of repairs now, take all the hydraulics you put into that thing and and obviously with all the dust these guys are kicking up, it's certainly going to need a car wash. So Todd, you may need to get that bucket out. I think it's your turn to wash the van this time around.
Oh, that's all right. A little bit of dirt and a little bit of mud. Never bothered anybody. I've been looking up and down at some of these cars, Phil. It's been interesting. This is a rallycross style car. My question is, why are none of these drivers have helmets on? None of them. Is that just another sort of craziness that they added to this ball game? I don't know. You want to protect your melon if you're going to flip over.
I don't know. That sounds like, if there's a doctor in the room, I think it certainly qualifies to ask Mr. TV Time Rich Patton that question. That this could certainly, be a factor of something that could be part of a Don't Drink the Kool-Aid segment or something. But what are these guys thinking, Rich? No helmets around this place? I mean, they certainly can't enjoy their health if they're doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking either. Maybe they just all have really big insurance policies or something, and maybe they're just gambling. Maybe they're thinking weight's a serious factor in this, right? So who knows? Maybe they don't have shoes on either. I don't know.
I was just doing a little bit of corresponding with Zach Rodgers, the owner of NRSL, who's out there on the racetrack in that number 3 machine, just trying to get a grip on the way they're going to do the manual cautions this afternoon. It looks like this is going to be one of those 3-in-part kind of races. So if a driver is to bring out 3 caution flags, they'll have to pull over and call their afternoon. We were just kind of gauging how many caution flags could we possibly see here things just happen on the restart. So there's going to be a limitation in place of what these guys are allowed to do. And with a race like this, Todd, I think that may be the right thing to do to make these guys, tame that aggression down a little bit and just go out there and get comfortable and run most importantly at a pace that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, definitely going to have to. It's going to make sure that these guys are maybe not going to bring out the yellow flags. You don't want to do that on DRTV anyway. I believe we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. It looks like they're stacked and packed and ready to go back. So they're underneath that Pirelli sign as they're coming underneath that right now. It's just interesting to see what's going to happen here. They're getting ready to come down the home stretch, and I believe we're going to go back to green flag racing once again, Phil.
Looks like that as we're going to wait them to get on the gas pedal here. Hard on the loud pedal, as Todd would say. Zach Rodgers of the number 3 is going to restart with the race lead. Rick Johnson, Martin Karch, Frank Divens, Jack True, and that is going to be your current top 5 here awaiting the restart. I believe we're about 2 turns away, possibly. There they go. No, they are out off 13. Green flag is in the air. Couldn't find where they were on the course, but there we go. Under green, Todd.
Yeah, green flag is definitely back in the air. Zach Rodgers down into the first corner here. Zach Rodgers negotiates that very well, like he has all evening long. Zach Rodgers just ahead of Rick Johnson and Martin Karch. A little bit sideways off that jump was the number 33 of Martin Karch, but he's able to hold on to that third spot. Fourth is Frank Divens. It looks like Jack Truan off in the woods. He wanted to see. He's seen some nice wood out there. He wanted to cut here later on in the going. Maybe for Rich's Farm Simulator. I know they cut wood on that Farm Simulator, so maybe he's looking at trees for later on in that portion of that.
I don't know if Rich able to get back and maybe put that, say, in a picture-in-picture, but that 89 was well off in the air and set out in the wilderness, and can't imagine that car is going to be all the worse for wear. Is just watching these guys is all over this place, trying to get all reslated out, and I was around the battle where it looks like that was a 33 of Karch, and trying to just peek around who that was. I think that was a 9 of Frank Divens that was just in front of him. Those guys made a little bit of contact, bringing Brandon Hawken right in that fight. That is a 3-car battle. That looks like for position number 3, Todd, as they hit the east end of the speedway.
Yeah, definitely was a battle for position number 3 as Frank Divens takes over that position from the 33 of Martin Karch. Like you said, Phil, right behind Martin Karch is the number 99, Brandon Hawken. Hawken running inside the top 5, I believe. No, he is a lap down aboard that number 99 machine. So 5th right now would actually be, I'm looking down through here. I'm trying to figure this out. Maybe it is Brandon Hawken that's in 5th. We just haven't reset it here. Yeah, not 100% sure. It's Brandon Hawken. As we're trying to let live timing and scoring, our scoring just a little bit different here this evening. It takes a little bit longer to get caught up as these guys are running around a pretty good clip around this track right now.
I was seeing these guys go through turn 2 over that first jump. There was a 3-car tango there. Frank Divens, Martin Karch, and Brandon Hawken were all nose to tail. Martin did a little bit of a nosedive over that jump. He skirted back off the course. That's going to allow him to surrender many positions on the racetrack. Looks like he may have lost 5 spots as Dean Woodward, Joey Murphy, DJ Curtis, and Noah Carmichael all made it on by. Now the best race on the racetrack as I head out toward the right-handers is between the Hawken machine, the 99, the 9 of Frank Divens. I believe you're going to give that to Hawken as they hit the jump there as they hit turn 5.
Yeah, Hawken down on the bottom side, if you want to call it the bottom side. Hawken able to slide job around the number 9 of Frank Divens. Divens not going away. He's right there on his rear bumper, but it looks like Divens going to have to give up that spot to Hawkins. Hawkins is right ahead of him in that 4th position now. Frank Divens drop kick him back to 5th, but he is inside, or drop kick him back to 4th, but he is inside that top 5. Frank Divens having a good run along with Brandon Hawken. Hawken was running really well here when he got jumbled up, so he's trying to catch, I believe that's the number 93 of Rick Johnson. Johnson running in that 2nd spot, a little bit ahead of Hawken, so we're going to see what's going to happen here.
I'm waiting for that interval to hit as they hit the line. Zach Rodgers has got out to a lead of 2.1 seconds over Rick Johnson, 3.7 back to Brandon Hawken, and then there's a gap between him and Frank Divens 4th, and almost a 3-second gap back to DJ Curtis of the 19, who is currently in that 5th spot. But Rich, developing situation there we saw on the restart. The 89 of Jack Truan got off course, and I believe we got a better picture-in-picture look for us.
Yeah, we're going to keep the live camera up on the left-hand side. Just keep the main camera on your race leader today. We're going to put the right side of the screen on Jack Truan in that 89 machine. And I'm going to go ahead and play this at full speed, and you're going to see exactly what happens when these cars go over these jumps. that are not square when they land. He landed sideways, immediately the car jumps to the right, and he's off into the woods, over the hills, through the trees, back out of the trees. He's trying to get back out on the track right now. He's lost a lot of ground doing all this. So a tough break for Jack Truitt in that 89.
Yeah, he lost a lot of spots on the racetrack as well. He went from 5th all the way now back to the 11th position as these guys just all over the place here. Just watching these guys over the jumps, Todd, trying to hit their rhythm. Not sure what you've been observing so far, but this is absolutely crazy, man. The first time we've ever done this on DRTV, and man, what a ride.
Yeah, definitely an awesome ride around the speedway. Just I've been riding around with Frank Divins and Brandon Hawken. I've been going back and forth, looking at what these guys are doing to do different lines. You know, because they got to catch Zach Rogers. He is a man on the mission tonight, and he is definitely the guy to beat in the number 3. So we're gonna have to see if Zach Rogers can hold on to this week, because he's running constant laps of 130. Or that last time by he ran at 131, but he did a hiccup a little bit during his lap. But it's going to be interesting to say. We're getting ready to take a lap around this racetrack here after we get back to the start-finish line, and I believe we're going to do a lap around here with Zach Rogers, our current race leader. So as we're going around right now, Zach Rogers is your current race leader. I'm going to do a quick top 5. Zach Rogers. Rick Johnson is running in that 2nd spot. Brandon Hawkins is 3rd. 4th is Frank Divins in that number 9 machine. 5th is DJ Curtis in that number 19. 6th is Joey Murphy. 7th, Noah Carmichael. 8th is Martin Karch as he's trying to fight and trying to get around Noah Carmichael. He's in 8th. 9th is Dean Woodward in that number 34 machine. And 10th, running at your top 10, is the number 98 or 89 of Jack Truitt.
All right, so as said, as Rich is telling us, we're going to next time around do a full lap, recap here with our race leader, Zach Rogers, who was pulled away to an impressive advantage. He is working down the East straightaway right now, working his way through turn number 12, and then he'll make the brief stretch here down toward 13 and down the front stretch. He's now hit the front stretch, so I guess that gives Rich's cue here. Put it in the in-car on board with our race leader, Zach Rogers, in that number 3. He'll make his way down through this first right-hander. It's just a quick little dog leg here through turn 1. A lot of right-hand turns to the early part of the road course. That was up through 1. Now he'll go up the hill, accelerate through turn 2, hit the jump. He's over that clean. Quick right-hander down toward turn 3 as they head now toward the Millstone straightaway. Good little, acceleration area here on this little stretch. Little quick jump as they, you get over the jump on the brakes now to a tough right-hand, almost a hairpin type turn. Up through turn 4, hard on the brakes. Back on the gas. He's going to head now to Echo Valley, a tough little section here with a quick left-hand turn, very, very sharp. And now back, a quick left-hand turn up through turn 6, headed now toward the Valley of the Lefts here. Now, this is where you can really do some accelerating, is you head up here, 7, through the jump, off the jump here through 7, now up through turn number 8, little bit sideways as he heads up through 8. Now into turn 9, he's going to head into that, what they call a light bulb. It's a very hard hairpin type right-hander, a very long sweeper, but it's very, very narrow. Up through the light bulb, turn 10 and 11. Now he'll make his way toward the East straight, which we're going to call the back stretch, heading now very, very fast on the gas pedal here. The right-hander up through turn 12, down on the brakes. Let it ride up on the gas pedal, and that's going to take you off turn 13 and down the front stretch, Todd. That is one lap around this Island Rally racetrack, and Zach Rogers there with our race lead. He did it absolutely on the money.
Yeah, he did, and that lap time was actually his fastest of the evening, Phil. 129.258 was that lap time, so that was the fastest of the evening, and a yellow flag is now out. So fastest lap of the, well, I should say the evening, the early evening, whereas we're just exiting here, the early afternoon hours here, so on East Coast time-wise. So we're at 129.258 for Zach Rogers that last time by, so that was the fastest lap of the race for him, and I'm going to take a look to see if that actually is actually the fastest lap of the race. I'm going to look through this field, Phil, and I'll give you a little bit of stats on that.
All right, sorry about that. Todd is taking a quick drink here to recap. 9 laps of 88 up on the board. Under our second caution flag of the event, Zach Rogers with the race lead, Brandon Hawken, Rick Johnson, Frank Divins, Joey Murphy, your current top 5 now. Something we didn't talk much about here during the pre-race, but, pitting window here today. I believe the fuel window here was about 15 to 17 laps. And now that being their second caution of a day with 9 laps up on the board, you got to assume for these guys who maybe have yet to find pit road, they're probably halfway home through a fuel run from here, Todd. So if you're Zach Rogers or Brandon Hawkett or maybe even Rick Johnson at this point, are you going to come in and top that thing off full?
I don't know, because you got another key factor into this. You lead a lap, you get 25 cents, Phil. Every lap you lead, you get 25 cents. NRSL, Zach Rogers, the owner of NRSL, is putting up 25 cents for every lap led. Also a prize package here towards the end of this event of $40 is the winner's purse. So it's going to be interesting to see. So right now, Zach Rogers has led all the laps thus so far. So as soon as he gets 10 laps here, he'll have $2.50 back into his pocket. That's something that he don't have to give out to these other racers. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. See who's going to be able to pick up those 25-cent laps. Also, Brandon Hawkins, we were talking about fast laps, and the fastest laps of the evening, or early evening hours here. 99 of Brandon Hawkins is actually indeed the fastest car on the speedway, has had the fastest lap, I should say, of 1:28.741. That's a lightning quick time compared to the number 3 of 1:29.258. Then the number 15 machine has a 1:29.446. The 93 of Rick Johnson, 1:29.621. And rounding out the top 5 in fastest times was the number 19 of 1:29.811. That's the last of the 1 second and 1.29 second bracket. The rest of them are all in the 130s, Phil.
And it's some pretty fast times around this Island Rally place. They work their way now off of 13 down toward the entrance of pit road. It does look like the race leader, Zach Rogers, in the number 3 is going to head toward pit road, Todd. So, you think about this completely different dynamic we have here this afternoon. What is this tire strategy? What's the fuel strategy? I mean, you got to imagine here, you want to pack these things full of fuel, but we'll have to see what these guys do as far as play for tires and whatnot. And, what would you think the tire wear at a place like Island Rally would be in these race conditions?
Well, I don't know what the tire wear is going to be like on a place like Island Rally. I was out there for a little bit, but I didn't even get a tire run in there because I was off the track more than anything. Dirt. I don't think. Since it is dirt, I don't think tires are going to matter that much. I think the temperatures cool down so quick that it's not really going to eat your tires up on these vehicles.
Well, I can tell you, I was down on pit road near the Zach Rogers camp. It was just a straight up gas and go on the number 3. And then I was in the 93 pit of Rick Johnson. He took a full 4-tire pit stop, and he's still now just finally coming away to the attention of his crew. He's going to lose many positions on the racetrack. Looks like he may lose as many as 6 or 7 positions. So, certainly a lot of stuff going on there. And, also, Rich, we'll talk about this, as I know you've had your hands full, trying to see if something to show as far as the replay goes. But damage on a place like this, you may see a lot of that on pit road. You may see some extended pit stops for these guys attempting to this clear damage.
Yeah, it's definitely going to affect how their car responds to the track. As the night goes on, the more laps they get, the more times they go over those jumps, the car is gaining a little bit of damage as they go. So as we get deeper into this race, these pit stops are going to get a little bit longer and longer for these guys, especially, if they haven't been doing the repairs, the first pit stop or 2 or what have you. Eventually it's going to force them to fix the repairs to stay in the event. So, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see things drastically change later on in this race as the pit stops start getting longer because they try not to get their damage fixed all the time.
And it's definitely something to keep your eye on. We had 16 drivers take the green flag here about 30 minutes ago. Currently on lap number 10, one of those drivers behind the wall was the number 1 of Tristan Wilhoit. Tristan, now, he had a great story here. Zach did a great job, as far with these bios and whatnot. And, unfortunately, Tristan out of the event. Tristan coming to us by hometown of Tyler, Texas. But something that was really interesting that popped out right away, guys. Currently resides in Anchorage, Alaska, which I thought was really, really cool. 16 years old, the only sim racer from Alaska that we know of, looking to crown a state championship in his, in the high school track long jump competition. He's currently a sophomore in Anchorage, Alaska. And just a little bit of background on Tristan Wilhoit, who was out here this afternoon, was piloting car number 1, but looks like Todd issues with his machine. He's going to be back behind the wall. But kind of cool there. Anchorage, Alaska, not something we see here on DRTV very often.
Oh, definitely not something that we see here very often as a driver out of Alaska. You know, it's interesting to see all these different drivers and where they're from, different states that they represent. We got a bunch of different states represented here tonight. I don't see a guy from New York though, besides me, you know, that's in the booth. But there's guys from Pennsylvania, there's guys from Illinois, New Hampshire, Nevada. It's California. North Carolina, you know, Florida. It's San Jose, Puerto Rico. I think that is what that one was. San Juan, Puerto Rico. I don't know if he even showed up today. I don't see the number 8 out there on the speedway here today, but he actually is out there on the speedway. I guess I wasn't sure, but we do have somebody from Puerto Rico. So it's interesting, Phil, to see everybody else that lines up for something like this. As we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing, I believe, because the field is restacked, repacked. Zach Rogers at the command. Frank Divins running in that second spot. Third is the number 93 machine, and it looks like green flag is in the air. We're back racing dirt rallycross style here live on DRTV. The hammer is down, and Zach Rogers does it again. 3-car length advantage going into turn 1.
And it goes down toward that first right-hander toward turn 1, as you said. Now the answer is these guys get through turn 1 now over the first jump. Will everybody get over that clean? We're seeing some little bit of sideways carnage there. Contact from the Rick Johnson machine up to the machine ahead of him. I believe that was Austin LaPlante and the 48. Rick Johnson doing barrel rolls. Looks like it may be LaPlante also, if that was LaPlante or not, but there was humongous barrel rolls there. Rich will certainly have something on the replay there show, but looks like Rick Johnson upside down, and he may require a toe tot. He looks like he may be stuck over there.
Oh, as you were saying that, they had an issue there, Divins, and it looked like contact between Divins and the number 19 of DJ Curtis. Those guys, all kinds of carnage there. Right before that one jump there is now Divins was running in that second spot, and Divins came back across the track and hit the number 19. He had nowhere to go after he got sideways and all kinds of out of shape. And I tell you what, Phil, being out there on that track, it's really loose, and it looks like yellow flag is going to fly once again here at the Rallycross track. Lots of carnage here.
Yeah, and in third caution flag of the event, working now lap number 11 of 88. Now, we knew this coming in, you know, this is going to be, you know, an endurance type of race, you know, with some early incidents here. You know, they're going to bring out cautions, and that's the developing story here. On these restarts, they hit that first jump through turn number, you know, right after the entrance of turn 1. You get through that toward turn 2 up through the right-handers. Contact can certainly, you know, happen. We're seeing that happen. A couple of different wrecks there, and unfortunately it looks like, Todd, it's going to claim a couple of drivers. Rick Johnson was stuck up there. Looks like the engine damage is going to be terminal there, as well as a Joey Murphy machine in the 15. So restarts claim 2 more. There is a big wild wreck. I know Rich is going to have an awful lot to show here. I mean, that was absolutely crazy, and I think, Rich, you just gave me the cue that you're ready with the replay. I know you got a lot to look at here, so Rich, over to you.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep up with these guys doing replays a little bit different than we normally do. We'll just stay in the picture-in-picture and keep the live broadcast on the left-hand side. But on the bottom right side of your screen, we're going to keep our eyes on that 93 of Rick Johnson. As they get into this jump, we'll play this at full speed and slow it down just as they get in the air, because that's when things get really fun. As he goes around the corner, both of them are just getting it. They make contact right there, and all of a sudden you see that contact with the Pia machine there turning off to the left, that red and white car. He's out of the picture now. Johnson, that's going to force him off to the left. He's heading to the monster machine. We'll play this in slow motion. It makes contact, and next thing you know, 93 gets hit again. Johnson's rolling like a barrel down the track. Also, that monster machine is upside down on his roof, finally comes back down on all 4 tires. Tough break for these guys, but like I mentioned earlier, they've got to hit these jumps straight. If they don't land properly or they're not coming down straight in the air, it's not going to be a pretty sight for these guys, as Rick Johnson just found out, guys. Back to you.
All right, and on that, you know, thought, Rich, and I want to ask you, because I know you've been around this track many, many a times over the year. You were a guy who got around this place really well. You know, knowing what we know about the jumps and the way the damage is going to work out, you know, how does that just change your mindset as a driver as far as, you know, just being so aggressive on one of these restarts? And what goes through your mind at that point as you head up to the gearbox for the first time?
I don't think I'm more concerned. I know when I ran this back in my league, and I've also raced this on many, many occasions, this track is all about finding your rhythm. There's a lot of hard braking on this track. There's a lot of corners that you have to approach the right way or you're going to have to be forced to brake and drift up off the track coming off the corners. So this track is definitely one of the most rhythmous tracks I've seen, you know, and that's up against the Watkins Glens or the Sonomas. This track is seriously rhythm. And the tough part about that is you know, they're going to break speeds of 130 plus mile an hour in certain points, and then they're going to get down to 30 or 40 mile an hour to get around some of these corners. So there's a lot of different scenarios going on the track at all times, and you've got to know this track. You've got to know that if you can scream through a corner by, you know, diamond shaping the corner, how is that going to affect you on the very next obstacle? Because sometimes these jumps are right after a corner. So if you come drifting off the corner and you hit that jump drifting, you're going to get sideways in the air, and it's not going to be pretty when you land. So there's a lot of things going on in your head when you're running this track, but it's definitely the most rhythmous track I've ever been on.
Now, Todd, I'll bring you into this conversation as well. Of, you know, just thinking, you know, Rich knowing all the thoughts and what it takes to get around in this place. Well, rallycross racing, certainly not something we're familiar with as guys who go out there and just be ultra conservative and usually tear up a lot of equipment. You know, what do you think of this so far? Would you be chomping at the bit to try something like this? I mean, it looks awfully fun, but, you know, I think for guys and novices like ourselves, I think this would be quite the challenge.
Oh, I went out there and practiced with the DRTV car that we have, and it's not all in one piece anymore. But it's a challenge. It's fun. I think the biggest thing is for like you or I, Phil, being out there on the speedway or on this style track is just to stay on the track and plug away, because you know it's a war of attrition, and you just got to stay out there, and hopefully some of these cars drop out there, because I know myself I'm just going to have to watch these guys drop out if I was running in the back, and hopefully make up positions that way. So there's me a position. As soon as they drop out, then I know I'm making up ground. Maybe I'll get a top 10 out of the whole ordeal.
Oh, absolutely right. You know, attrition just being the way of the game here. 16 drivers took the green flag. It's going to be 4 of them now behind the wall. Joining Tristan Wilhoit is Joey Murphy, Rick Johnson with damage from that incident, as well as the 8 of Chris Dodd from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, looks like his afternoon as well is going to be done, so that's going to leave 11 drivers out, or 12 drivers rather, onto the racetrack here. A lot of racing here left to go. 13 laps of 88 up on the board. The Island Rally here this afternoon. Rallycross racing with our friends at NRSL, a great league owned by Zach Rogers. There's a whole lot of great stuff here. Has a great off, you know, just a supercar series rather. The Hankook V8 series. They've done some really cool racing with that. I've been following along with that, as well as a lot of good oval track racing too. So check these guys out. The best way to find NRSL, check them out inside the Sim Racing Association TeamSpeak, or also at simracingassociation.com. You can find a direct link to Zach Rogers and their portal there as far as signing up to register and be a member of their league. So check them out, simracingassociation.com, and great racing going on here. Just a cool event, something completely different, a new flavor to all of us here at DRTV with the Rallycross racing. And so far, Todd, I think it's lived up to what we thought it would. I mean, you see the hiccups here and the bumps in the road, which naturally, if this ain't your discipline of racing, this is completely a different style, and you're going to see guys making mistakes and mistiming them jumps and whatnot. But what kind of things do you guys think the drivers can do? What is in their hands as far as approaching these jumps? Do you take a more aggressive style and, you know, on the throttle and try to land that thing perfectly, or do you take a conservative approach over those jumps and try to keep all the car control you can?
Well, you're going to try to be conservative. I think I'm going to have to be conservative. That way you go up and hit those jumps and just be conservative, because it's going to beat up on your car, because you do have different jumps, and it makes it hard on your cars, and it might make some damage on your cars too, for that matter. If you're going up on them jumps real hard, hot and heavy, I'm pretty sure it's going to cause a little bit of damage, because we are in moderate damage there, Phil. So you kind of want to gingerly go over those jumps, not too slow, but not too fast either.
No, absolutely not. I'm not sure I even want to attempt getting one of these jumps at full speed. I'd be scared to death what's going to be happening on the other side. I mean, certainly not privy to it. I'm sure if I can go out and practice and tear our equipment up, but, you know, I know you already took that Ford Focus out of Rich's driveway and reskinned it up and put it out there and probably tore it up. As they're all stacked and repacked, as Todd would say. Green flag is back in the air. Turn the race controls back into the hands of the leader, Zach Rogers, aboard that number 3 as they hit down toward 1. Over the jump now off the exit of turn 2. We're now heading toward the right-hander of turn 3. Looks like the first 5 all over the jump without contact. As we say that, the next corner comes around and Dean Woodward goes around. Frank Divins also getting involved, and also multiple cars involved there, Todd.
Yeah, they're spinning like tops in the back there, right around that first jump once again. As Dean Woodward did restart in that second spot, it looks like now he's going to drop back to third. Brandon Hawkins going to be back to second. Look at yellow flag going to fly once again. But I'm telling you right now, those drivers that were involved in that wreck just before that first jump, or just right around that first jump there, were spinning around, and there was total carnage. I was trying to see who that was there. Jack Truan up on 2 wheels and almost surfing up over the jump too. So there was a lot of interesting things that happened on that first jump, Phil. A lot of cars involved in that one.
Yeah, and I'm just following along the excerpt. So these guys are racing back to the caution flag, so they make the full field, the full pace of the field at race speed. Zach Rodgers, as he's done all afternoon here so far, pulling away from the field. Brandon Hawkins right there in tow as they head down toward the light bulb of turn 10 and 11 here, now working into the backstretch. Dean Woodward is going to come out of that. The 34 currently third. The 76 of Noah Carmichael is currently fourth. And running at the top 5 unofficially, looks like that's going to be comfortable as they hit the start-finish line, will be DJ Curtis aboard that number 19 machine. But now slowed by our 4th caution flag of the day, 15 laps in. More, another multiple car incident over that first jump, Todd. I think that's going to be the place all day long on these restarts to pay attention to. That jump certainly throwing these guys for a loop, and unfortunately for us, it's not paying off for a lot of these guys because we've got a lot of tore up race cars, and I think Rich he's going to show here on the replay in a few minutes, and he gets that thing all worked out. I think we're going to see even more cars with damage.
Yeah, definitely going to see more cars probably with damage as this all plays out. We are lap 15 of 88. We're getting ready to go to, I believe, picture-in-picture replay here of what happened over that first jump. Mr. TV Time, Rich Petton, has whispered in my ear that we're ready. Rich, take it away.
Yeah, this one was a little bit of a challenge because of the camera angles on this track with all the mountains, all the trees and what have you, and a lot of dust being stirred up. But we are actually focusing on Martin Karch in the 33. The first car you see there in the center of the screen, or just to the right of the center of the screen, that's going to be Austin LaPlante. He's getting that car sideways. We'll run this thing slow motion. He gets sideways, gets a little bit of help from Frank Divins. Next thing you know, there's a traffic jam, and all of a sudden Martin Karch tries to sneak around, or actually he got stopped on the inside of that corner, and he gets tossed around like a little ball, like a ping pong ball. Finally comes to a stop facing the wrong direction as everybody else is able to get around him on the track. Tough break for these guys, but when they're close like this after restarts or what have you and jumps are involved, you got to be patient when you're in the crowd. That's all I can say. Back to you.
All right, well, that's the excerpts there from a DRTV control booth. Rich Patton at the controls as always. But Rich, as we're under caution here, we've been slowed down by 4. And I know these things, the way they allow the pit road to be open that one time by, and they take the green the next time. Somebody we certainly have to pay tribute here as far as allowing us on DRTV, as far as assisting us with the cam files for all you do in the trailer is certainly our buddy J-Rock from Safer Barrier Project. I know Jason was very instrumental to a lot of the work here to give you all the assist he could down there on that trailer to make this event look really good the way it does. He did a great job for us.
Oh, yes, indeed he did. We always rely on Safer Barrier Projects and J-Rock over there to assist us with our camera editing on these tracks. And, this not being a normal track with trees and mountains and jumps and everything in different elevations, hats off to J-Rock for getting us our camera angles. I don't know what else you can do. There's so many mountains, so many trees on this track. There's quite a few blind spots with basic cameras and such. So, we tried to provide the best coverage that we can, and again, hats off to J-Rock for helping us out there.
Yeah, and also a special thank you out there and a hello to our friend Dave Stanley over at NRT Game Servers. Dave has done so much for us over the years, and this being straight up a NRT products all over this place as far as the race servers, the point management, all the help he gives to us as far as TeamSpeak communication. So hats off to NRT Game Servers. Check them out, nrtgameservers.com. Check out Dave Stanley, all his great products, all the great work he's done for so many of us here in the community here over the years. So Dave Stanley, NRT Game Servers. If you're looking for a game server, hosts an awful lot of different things. I know, Todd, you can touch more on all the great things NRT serves, but as far as NR 2003, R Factor, I believe he also does automobile business servers as far as, and also TeamSpeak. So Dave Stanley, NRT Todd, anybody look out there looking for anything as far as gaming, he's certainly the guy to go to.
Yeah, definitely top-notch, the top-notch gaming server provider, especially for NASCAR 2003. He's also got SMS leagues out there. Those who are looking for a point system, we do have SMS leagues out there available through NRT Game Server. So great function, great point system. It's beautifully prepared, and we utilize it at TDR. Most of the leagues do utilize that. So. NRT Game Servers, you were right, Phil, that he has servers not only in NASCAR 2003, he has them in R-Factor 2, he has them in Automobista. If he can dabble in it, he's going to do it.
Absolutely right. Check out Dave Stanley, NRT Game Servers. Developing situation here from Pit Road, Todd. I've seen everybody going on and off there for service, getting damage repaired. Looks like the hood went up and down, and behind the wall now, looks like Frank Divens of the number 9. Looks like his event is going to be done. So tough break for Frank.
Yeah, indeed, a tough break for Frank Divens and Blake McCandless, yeah. In the 0-2, he's on pit road too. He had a lengthy pit stop. Looks like Martin Karch also on pit road for a long time. Those guys getting repairs. Martin Karch now able to pull away. We do have a new race leader, the number 99 machine of Hawkins. He is now up front with a 15, I believe, is running in that. No, it is the 19 is running in that second spot. Oh, here comes Zach Rogers back up. So it must be Zach Rogers that's actually the leader still.
Yeah, I saw a whole lot of commotion there working, so wasn't exactly sure what was going on there. But I believe it's going to be Zach who's going to restart with the lead there with Brandon Hawkins. DJ Curtis looks like he's going to restart third. Noah Carmichael and Jack Truitt look like they're going to restart here in the 5th position. I believe 1 to go has been given to the field. So next time around, we'll put this thing back on a green flag. I believe. I don't know if I've seen the call, but I'd assume 1 would certainly happen. So we're going to hope for green flag racing this time around. But, here on DRTV, the first time for us here to NRSL, the first time we've ever done rallycross racing here on DRTV. We've been on the air 45 minutes, 16 laps of 88 up on the board. Thank you out there in YouTube land for being with us here today. As always, with a Sunday matinee edition of DRTV. Certainly just cool to be on the air during the day, and as we see the night starting to appear on the East Coast and approaching dinner time. So I'm sure Rich will have to go down to her here a little while. And anytime we get on the air with DRTV, Rich is always busy with a plate full of food. So I wonder what he's got on the docket for us today here, Todd. Is he's going to allow us to do much of the talking, probably not a whole lot of the eating. We'll probably have to wait till the later stages of this thing once this event finishes up to get dinner. But I wonder what Rich Patton maybe have on the menu this afternoon, because it's usually something good.
Yeah, definitely, usually something good, and he hasn't figured out a way to share it with us yet. Hopefully someday he will be able to throw it through the internet lines or something, so that maybe we could have something to eat up here, because he does starve us to death every now and then, and we're allowed to get drinks. Potty breaks are optional sometimes. Sometimes he don't let us do that either. Sometimes we have to sit here and piss ourselves.
Well, we don't want to hate on Rich. He takes good care of us up here in the booth, But let's put the calling out now to anybody out there in the YouTube chat box or any league that'd like to get our services here on DRTV. Head over to DRLnetwork.com. Book your dates now. Dates are filling up fast here. Through the next couple of months, I think you're going to see us extremely busy, which is certainly a good thing. And, we'll take some pizza delivered right now. If anybody would like to send us up a pizza here to the booth, as we're awaiting a green flag here as they work off turn 13. The pace car is onto pit road, and green flag going to go back in the air. Zach Rogers is on the gas pedal. Todd, and we're under green.
Yeah, definitely under green flag racing conditions once again here. Island Rallycross style here live on DRTV. Green flag is now definitely in the air as we were getting ready to go back to green flag. Phil just a little bit ahead of himself there. Is the number 99 machine of Brandon Hawkins now in tow of the number 3 of Zach Rogers, like it has been so far. Hawkins is has been the fastest car here, fastest lap time car here of the early evening hours. 3rd is DJ Curtis. 4th is Noah Carmichael aboard the number 76 Subaru machine. 5th right now is Jack A. Truitt. Jack having a good run now inside the top 5 for the first time this evening. And that number 89 machine. 6th is Adam Samsel in that number 56 machine. 7th is the number 48 of Austin LaPlante. 8th is Harnett in the number 83 machine. Ninth is the number 34 of Dean Woodward. He was inside the top 5. He was running second for a little bit of time there in that number 34 machine. 10th is Martin Karch in the 33. He's making, boy, you look at the top of his roof, and that's got a weird curvature to it. Just looking at it, the number 33, maybe he's been on his lid a little bit. It looks like it's curved a little bit, maybe on my screen. It might just be a figment of my imagination, or maybe just a little bit of the depth. Maybe something fell down on that number 33 machine. Not sure. Blake McCannis right there behind Martin Karch. He's quite a ways behind Martin in that 02 machine.
Yeah, and just to touch on Martin a little bit more here, that roof is certainly caved in. No, he's been upside down at least one time, probably been off in the woods. And we know Martin's good on the road courses, Todd. We know Martin's really good on dirt, but something that may be throwing off here today, dirt in a right-hand turn with a jump sprinkled in, certainly not something that's going to pay dividends there for Martin Karch in the 33. Currently in that 10th position, but racing back up toward the front of the field as these guys now, Todd, appears for the first time, maybe starting to sprinkle out a line here a little bit and stretch out and maybe start logging some laps. It is Zach Rodgers in the number 3 who's pulled away from the field, but not getting away from it all is Brandon Hawk in the number 99. Those two drivers starting to pull away, and that 99 right there in tow as they hit to the left-hander of that turn number 4.
Yeah, Brandon Hawken right there with the look mom on DRTV. Hawken is really, really aggressive aboard that number 99 machine, looking to get around Zach Rodgers. Zach Rodgers led every single lap so far, almost up to $5 in lap money for that number 3 machine of Zach Rodgers. That's $5 he does not have to pay out, and that's what he's trying to do. I would believe is trying to get some of his money back. Here comes a pass down to the inside. Brandon Hawkins down on the bottom side in the number 99, almost door banging there, coming off the corner over the jump there. Zach Rodgers back to the point. The 99 of Brandon Hawkins back behind him. He's going to mount another charge here down to the bottom side. Brandon Hawkins trying to get around him here. A little bit of a short turn before we come to the home stretch here with that number 99 machine. Zach Rodgers once again pulls away about 2 car lengths over the 99 of Brandon Hawken, but Hawken now knows that he can get up to Zach Rodgers, and Rodgers now definitely knows he's there.
Oh, he certainly does, but he got a great, tremendous boost there off of 13 down the front stretch now as they head toward the right-handers there through turn number 1, now through the second right-hander off of turn 2, over the jump, gather that back in, stab the brake, and now back to the right-hander into turn 3 as they head down Millstone straightaway now. High speeds here. They head the jump here on the brakes as they head through turn 4, a hard hairpin type right-hander. Hawken on the brake, almost a little contact there. Great racing here now as they head down through the Echo Valley, a tough left-hand section, very, very slow here. They get through that one all nice and clean. Now up through the Valley of the Lefts, you get some really good acceleration here through turn number 7, up toward turn 8 with a left-hand turn, and up through a jump into turn 9, as you'll see here, as Hawken and Rodgers now make their way through 8. They'll accelerate down to the left-hander here through turn number 9 and into turn 10. Now in what they call the light bulb. It is a long hairpin type turn. You see these guys on the gas, off the gas, getting sideways. They exit through turn 10 and now 11. Down the east straightaway, a little bit of dog leg there as they head down toward the right-hander of turn number 12 under the bridge. Here through 12 on the brakes, let it slide back on the gas, and now off of turn 13 and down the front stretch. Another great lap and great racing for the race lead.
Yeah, definitely great racing for that race lead as Brandon Hawkins still running in that second spot in that number 99 machine. But it looks like the first portion of this through the middle, it looks like yellow flag is out on the speedway once again. Not sure what brought out this yellow flag as we were just getting a little bit of separation, and now we got another yellow flag here at Island Rallycross.
This will be yellow flag number 5 here for the first 20 laps. So certainly, gathering up a lot of time and gathering up a lot of race cars here as they're going to slow it down once again. Looks like you're going to have 2 lap stretches here of green flag racing. Certainly going to make for a long afternoon for us here on the DRL Network. But thanks everybody out there in YouTube land for chiming in. I know the chat box has been busy, but I think guys know I'm not going to pay too much attention to that today. I know there were some scores out there from certain stuff. I'm trying to stay clear of that till later on this evening. I'm completely going to be disconnected from the world for a little while, and we're going to enjoy the action here on DRTV, and then Phil this evening will have to go back and catch up on all the NFL action this afternoon. So first things first, we take care of the race broadcast here this afternoon for our friend Zach Rodgers and all the guys at NRSL. But, the story of this game so far, Todd, caution flags, 5 of them through the first 20 laps. These jumps, the challenge of the Island Valley racetrack certainly has gobbled up at least 5 contenders so far, and we've seen some heavily damaged race cars throughout, but the 2 guys who certainly come away the most clean through this first 20 laps, Zach Rodgers and Brandon Hawken, they were putting on some tremendous racing out there.
Yeah, they definitely were putting on some tremendous racing out there. Like you said, 5 yellow flags here throughout this event. We're trying to figure out if we're going to have to page Dr. Green here. I feel that a few more yellows it will not be good, and we'll have to page that Dr. Green there, Phil. And Dr. Green will be Johnny on the spot, and hopefully we'll go green flag racing the rest of the way. I'd like to see some green flag pit stops and see what happens here and see what kind of separation these guys get on a green flag pit stop. It's going to be interesting. I mean, these guys had quite the separation, the 3 and the 99 did, over that number 19. He was there, but he was quite a ways back. Was DJ Curtis in that number 19 machine. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to play out. Just the yellow flags are throwing a little bit of handkerchief into the mix.
The yellow flags, as you said, certainly having a wrinkle here to us here through the first 20 laps. It is Zach Rodgers, your current race leader, Brandon Hawken, DJ Curtis, Austin LaPlante, Jack Truen were scored your top 5 last time around, 6 through 10, Dean Woodward, Emmanuel Hartnett, Noah Carmichael, Martin Karch, Adam Sansel were your top 10, and currently 11th, the last car on the racetrack is Blake McCandless aboard the number 02. It's your full field rundown of cars still on the racetrack. 16 took the green flag. 11 are currently left running, and pit road is going to be open this time around, and seeing guys take that hard right-hand turn onto pit road. They'll come down for at least fuel, some service, maybe some damage repair. So we'll update the pit stops, but first, we're going to take a quick break here and reset here on DRTV. Take a drink here, just take a minute to catch our breath. We'll be right back.
NRT Game Servers is your best option for your gaming development need. State-of-the-art technology combined with some of the best voice talent and software out there, NRT gives a quality gaming experience. Dedicated to their craft, NRT provides quality product and services. Contact NRT Game Servers today at 828-212-4040 or at www.nrtservers.com today for a quality gaming experience.
All right, back here at the Island Rally Racetrack. Rallycross action today. The first time for DRTV over to NRSL, and the first time for us to have Rallycross this afternoon. A great event put on by Zach Rodgers and the gang over here at NRSL. Having a great time so far. Story has been 5 caution flags for, through the first 21 laps. It's certainly been interesting so far, Todd. A certain wild ride as we see these guys navigate through the elevation changes in the racetrack, through all the twists and turns, the bumps, and, especially the jumps that are throwing us all for a curve here this afternoon. But, we got a lot of racing here left to go. As we've documented, it's a long endurance type afternoon. It's going to be taxing on the drivers. It's going to be taxing on everybody out there, including ourselves up here in the booth. So we got a lot of racing here left to go ahead of us. But as you said here, and I want to touch on it again, I really hope to see these guys stretch out, maybe do some green flag pit stops, because I would love to see what one of these things look like as far as a long run. We know what they look like on a restart. We've got a lot to see a lot of those so far as how these cars cycle up and get through the jumps. But what I really want to see is who's the best rhythm driver of all these guys? Who's going to get strung out and make the laps and be the cleanest? And who's going to take this thing, green, to the checkered flag here later on? I think just like you echo that sentiment as well.
Yeah, definitely going to see I really want to see that long green flag run. Right now, it looks like Zach Rodgers may restart behind somebody for the first time here this evening. The 34 of Dean Woodward stayed out. He is your current race leader, and he is in threat of losing. Looks like Dean's going to lead a lap and at least get a quarter here away from Zach Rodgers. He's going to be able to wrestle away from the number 3 machine, as he has been the man to beat, the man on the mission here this evening so far. But the number 99 of Hawken, like you said, Phil, he's been all over the number 3 machine, and it's going to be, I want to see how this is all going to play out. There's some other guys out there, I think they're just resting their equipment. I think they're just as quick, if not quicker, than some of these guys. But right now, the most consistent guys on the speedway have been the number 3 and the number 99 machine. We're going to have to see what Woodward has here as he gets ready to start out front.
And Rich, I think you just whispered in my ear, and I think you hit it right on the head. I think the name of the game is going to be clean air out the windshield and allowing you to hit your marks and run your own race. Am I right with that thinking?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, you know, if there's nobody in front of you, you can find your rhythm. You can run the groove you want. If you're back there in traffic, everything about every corner, every jump, everything's got to go through your head the entire time while you keep your car off of somebody next to you. And you know, if you don't hit the jumps right and the guy behind you taps you in the air, you could be doing barrel rolls as soon as you land. So it's a tough race back in the pack. Oh, as you can see, they just got green again, maybe. And looks like there's a little bit of bumping action there. But, yeah, it's so much easier to find your rhythm, get in your groove when you're up front, and you can pick and choose where you want to run. But once you're back there in the pack and you've got cars around you, you're at the mercy of the guy next to you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
No, certainly not. As green flag looks like is now going to go up in the air from the starter stand. Green flag is in the air to the 34 of Dean Woodward from Middleburg, Florida. Out there in that Subaru WRX. He's going to restart with the race lead now through the right-handers through turn 1, down toward turn 2, and now to that dreaded jump as they exit turn 2 and down toward 3. The top 5 guys look all clean and green as they hit through it, but now a race for the race lead, Todd, as they hit 4.
Yeah, Zach Rogers gets around the 34 of Dean Woodward. Woodward all kinds out of shape. That's going to leave the door wide open for the number 99 of Brandon Hawken. Once again, he moves into second, drop kick Dean Woodward back to third, and he's still under heavy pressure from that 48 of Austin LaPlante. LaPlante right there in that fourth spot, waiting to pounce on the number 34 of Dean Woodward, but back out front. It is Zach Rogers and Brandon Hawken. Hawken now closing up the gap on the number 3 of Rogers. Looks like Hawken is going to make a move on that number 3 machine. We're coming down through here. He's got the preferred groove through these little turns here, but now it looks like Rogers powers back here into the lead over the number 99 of Hawken, but Hawken right there. Woodward not going away either. He's about 4 car lengths back of Hawken and the number 3 of Zach Rogers. Rogers still leading aboard that number 3 machine, but Hawken's all over him.
All over the back bumper, as you said, like a cheap suit as they head down now through Echo Valley, down through turns number 9 and 10, now under the bridge through 12. Off into number 13, off down to the front stretch now. Zach Rogers, as we've seen all afternoon, the fastest car out on the racetrack, and he seems to get a great burst through that east end of the racetrack, Todd. He gets down through that light bulb section really well with that long sweeping right-hander. Gets down through the hill, down through 12 and 13. He gets such a tremendous launch. But it's the west end of the racetrack where I think you see Brandon Hawken come into play. They hit that jump off of 2 down into 3 through the right-hander. That's where that 99 seems to gain all his advantage. And as they head down through turn number 4 now and through the rhythm part of the racetrack, you see the 99 now once again all over the rear bumper.
Yeah, all over the rear bumper once again. Down on the bottom side is Hawken. Hawken now trying to get around Zach Rogers into the best portion of the track for the number 99 of Hawken. Rogers able to fend him off so far. They're going over a jump once again. Look at Hawken. Power, man on the mission in that number 99 machine. His front end was way up in the air as he went over that jump, trying to find a way around the number 3 of Zach Rogers. 2 wheels aboard those machines here. Here comes Hawken once again. He is about a half a car length behind the number 3 machine. He's trying everything he can here, Phil, but I believe he's still got the kitchen sink left.
He's going to need more than the kitchen sink now as they exit the light bulb out of turn number 11 down toward 12 through the left-hander. This is where that 3 car has certainly just earned his money this afternoon. He's really getting through that east end of the racetrack really well. Off of 13 now on the gas pedal. Gets a little bit out of shape. He's going to allow the 99 of Hawken right to his front bumper for the first time all day. We may see a challenge for the lead heading toward turn 1.
Yeah, Hawkins down on the bottom side. He has the position coming down into turn number 1, where Rogers normally has that position. It is a side-by-side battle between Hawkins and the number 3 of Rogers. Rogers way up top, and he's going to give up the lead to Hawkins, a new race leader for the number 99.
Yeah, and I think Zach was the better part of valor there. I think he knew he didn't have the preferred advantage, as he would say, with that preferred line through that jump and through into turn 3. And I think he was just, no worse for wear there. Just roll out of it. A lot of laps here left to go. Got to keep your equipment underneath you. I mean, yeah, of course, you want that, that the quarter they're giving out to lead each lap that they may lead, but at this point, with so many laps to go, maybe just ride around in line, because that 99 has certainly showed through this rhythm part of the racetrack now, heading toward now through the valley of the lefts here, heading down toward the light bulb as they head toward turn 10 and 11 here as they hit the left-hander. Now going to be down hard on the brakes as they hit here just at the end of turn 10. But this is where the 3 car has certainly come to life here as they exit the light bulb. He is all over the back bumper of that 99 again, but looks like Brandon able to drive away a little bit that time.
Yeah, Brandon, indeed, a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, but yeah, like Rich is saying here in our ear, it's all about being up front. And Hawken right now able to control his destiny as the number 3 of Zach Rogers normally gets all kinds of power and momentum off there. Hawken's able to lengthen that gap just a little bit, about a car length and a half here, coming down into 1 as Zach Rogers going to try to bonsai it down here into 1. I've seen Zach Rogers pull a lot of those maneuvers around the track here, and I believe if somebody can make it stick down there, it's that number 3 machine, but he's not able to do so. He's going to stay right there at the tire tracks of the 99 of Hawkins. So right now, about 2 car lengths separate those two. As Zach Rogers way up the track just a little bit. He went way wide in that number 3 machine.
I know we've been focusing a lot on the race to the lead, but just scrolling back to the field, this is certainly the best battle on the racetrack. These two guys who are at the front of this thing, Brandon and Zach, they are certainly putting on the show for us as they're kind of strung out back to the middle part of the field. But as they head down through the valley, as they get through the valley of the lefts up here, Brandon accelerating off of turn 5 down through the little left-handers here over the jumps, and now head back toward that light bulb once again, that long sweeping 90-degree hairpin dogleg, whatever you'd want to call it, through number 10. Brandon, they're going to enter it a little bit up high, slide it down low, 4 tire drifting. That made the 3 of Zach Rogers get on the brakes just a little bit, allowed the 99 once again to pull away, but I think you're seeing 2 completely different ways of charging this racetrack here, Todd. Brandon being a little conservative going into the entrance of all these corners versus Zach, who's driving in it a little bit deeper. And so far through this little run right here, it looks like it's paid off on 99 because he's able to, looks like maybe conserve his stuff, and he's starting to drive away here ever so slightly.
Yeah, he's starting to drive away. Looks like Jack A. Truan in that number 89 machine behind the wall, maybe in form of a yellow flag for that number 89 machine, but Truan behind the wall in that number 89 Team Crush TDR Racing sponsored machine, and I'm not sure what happened to him, Phil. Maybe we can catch up a little insight on him.
That looks like the 89 of Jack Truan going to be out of this event. Jack, of course, the owner of TDR Racing. Good to see him come out and play with us here this afternoon. So we'll let these guys all recycle, but it's going to be Brandon Hawken, the number 99, with our current race lead. If we can't pull up the bio here on Brandon. Sorry about that. Clicking the wrong button here, trying to get all these screens worked out here. Zach giving us so much to look at this afternoon. Got so many windows open here. There we go. I think we got them all figured out now. Brandon Hawken, the number 99, driving a Mitsubishi this afternoon, the Bile Art machine. Didn't really have much as way as a bio, but Brandon's currently out with the race lead. Let's see if we can't pull up another driver who's out there. All right, Rich, I believe you're ready with a replay here. Show us what happened to Jack Truan here as I get these bio sheets all sorted out.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Keeping an eye on Jack Truan in the 89 machine. Looks like he come off the corner or off one of the jumps a little bit crooked. That's going to send him on the inside of this turn coming up. The left-hander they were supposed to make. We'll run this through in slow motion. He comes back across the track. That car is just bouncing left to right as we're running this through slow motion. It's still bouncing all over the place, getting a lot of air. Next thing you know, he heads to the hills. Oh my goodness, air through the trees. He's coming back out of the trees. There he is, back on the top of the hill. On the passenger side, he's going to do some rolls, coming back down on the track, completely tearing that vehicle up. I don't know if he saw Bigfoot up in the woods or what happened, but he definitely came back out of the woods flying pretty quick. And looks like that's going to end his night, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, that 89 certainly took a ride here this afternoon and, once again through the trees, and looks like that TDR Team Crush Motorsports machine, Todd. I'm not sure if there's going to be a good panel left of that thing. You have to bring that thing back to the shop, and that thing may be headed to the scrapyard.
Oh, you're going to disassemble most of the good parts off of it and salvage what we can. I'm sure there's a few things we can save out of it, and then it's probably going to go to scrapyard. But that's all right. That's what they're made for. They're made to go out there and race, and it's interesting to see. Jack is one of them road course gurus, Phil. You know just as well as I do. He loves this kind of stuff, and just to see him struggle at this track is not Jack Truan's forte. It's just something that I would have never guessed.
And I know he was looking forward to this as well. Another guy who was looking really forward to this, and all the work he put on behind the scenes as an owner of a league. Zach Rotter is putting this event on this afternoon. I know he's a guy who loves this rallycross stuff, and he's certainly shown to be one of the two strongest drivers out there today. Zach out there in his Mountain Dew Subaru from Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, 19 years old, if you can believe it. Skilled as the way he is behind the wheel. 19 years old, says he likes to hone his skills in every league that he may participate in, and eventually just become one of the most well-respected drivers and well-rounded in the community. So that's the bio that was given to us by Zach about himself, talking about himself. And sometimes the hardest thing to do here when you make one of these bios out, Todd, as you would well know, when you put a race like this together and bring a group like DRTV over to showcase your league, sometimes it's harder to talk about yourself in a way and give your background. But as Zach said, he's been around for a while. He's trying to lay a good name out there in all the leagues he goes to, and he's certainly a very talented driver, as he's displaying here this afternoon here with a rallycross style. I know we see him on pavement quite a bit too.
Yeah, we do indeed see him on pavement quite a bit, all through these NASCAR 2003 leagues. He's starting to form a name for himself. He's still rather new to the sim compared to what we've been accustomed to, but he's been doing really, really well aboard that number 3 machine tonight, and he's making himself known. He really is. Zach Rogers in that number 3 machine, so he's doing what he's setting forth to do. Still trying to win some more races, I think, is Zach Rogers. And right now he's at the helm of this one once again with the 99 of Hawkins running in that second spot. So there's a few other bios here, Phil. I found it pretty interesting to see some of these bios in here and see some of these guys and where they're from and what their favorite NASCAR drivers are. I got one like Austin LaPlante, who's been running inside the top 5 here. LaPlante, he's written with a Mitsubishi out of Salem, New Hampshire. Sponsors PIAA, and bio favorite NASCAR drivers. He's got drivers, where one of us would pick 1 or 2 maybe as a backup. He's got Jimmy Johnson. He likes Chase Elliott, Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Currently going to North Essex Community College to work on his degree in meteorology. So that's a pretty good field to get into, Phil. Be a weather forecaster, maybe to be say.
Well, a meteorologist certainly, but if you can get there and get through the training to do that, it's probably one of the coolest jobs in the world to have, because it's a job that you can be wrong, probably 50% of the time, and not have a poor job review and still cash them paychecks. So if you have something like that, you can tell everybody one story and be completely wrong. I mean, it's kind of like broadcasting up here in the DRL network booth here. We try to claim what we may know, but sometimes half the time it seems like we'll be wrong. But I guess, Todd, as long as they'll have us, we'll keep coming back and hopefully give them correct information.
Yeah, indeed. Like I said, we'll try to get to most of these bios of the cars that are left on the track, even some of the guys that are out of the event here. We got 9 cars left out there on the speedway, or I should say on the road course. I keep saying speedway, but it's a road course. It's a dirt road course, rallycross track. We'll get to as many of these as we can. Our goal is to get to them by the end of this race. But, Phil, I believe you got another one for us here before we go back to green.
Yeah, I know they're coming through 12 here. Get ready for the green flag. The number 19, currently in that 3rd spot, DJ Curtis, running in that KTM Subaru from Kansas City, Missouri. Favorite movie, it says in the bio, Zootopia. I think that was a great flick. It's been many years since I've seen Zootopia, but that was a cool flick indeed. That's the bio that was sent over just briefly on DJ Curtis in the number 19. Going to restart 3rd, but of course our restart leader is going to be the 99 of Brandon Hawken as they roll down the front stretch awaiting the green flag. The loud pedal about to go down, Todd. Green flag in the air.
Indeed, it's the number 3 of Zach Rogers at the helm, the 99 of Brandon Hawken running in that 2nd spot. So Zach Rogers able to get on and off pit road in front of the 99 of Hawkins. We got the 19 there challenging with the number 99 there momentarily as we hit this first jump here, and everybody normally gets a little bit squirrely going over that. And I think everybody made it through that time. Zach Rogers real wide. He's got about a 10 car length advantage, maybe an 8 car length advantage over the 99 of Hawkins this time. He is not wanting to give up that lead this time. He's trying to stretch it out and trying to run away and hide from that number 99 of Hawkins. Hawkins may be able to close the gap here. It looks like he's stronger on a longer run in that number 99 machine.
Yeah, and in a good battle just behind them going on for that 3rd spot as they head down through the valley of the lefts here is this high-speed part of the racetrack. the 19 of DJ Curtis, the 48 of Austin LaPlante. They had a good little race there. They were, nose to tail through the left-handers now, through the dog leg as they head now toward the hard left-hand turn to the light bulb. But as we head to the light bulb, Todd, now a race for the lead. Here comes Hawkins to the low side.
Yeah, Hawkins was on the low side there. Now they switched into this little light bulb turn here. The 99 of Hawkins now not able to pull off the passes. He was up on the top side of the speedway, and Zach Rogers had the preferred groove going through that corner. But here he comes back down to the bottom once again. Is Brandon Hawkins not able to do so here through this corner? And this is where Zach Rogers has been strong all evening long, and he's going to be able to pull away down the front straightaway just a tad bit. Not too much this time, as he's got a rear view mirror full of that number 99 of Hawkins. Hawkins is about a half a car length behind him. Is he going to be able to pull off the pass here coming down into one?
Well, the answer to that, Todd, appears so far to be no. As they head through turn number 1 and 2, now over the jump toward 3, and that looks like it's Rogers. He's going to get off the race. He's going to get off course. He's going to slide around. That's going to allow Hawkins to sneak on by. DJ Curtis is also going to sneak by. So a developing situation for Zach Rogers. He's going to slide off course, Todd, and makes that critical mistake. He's going to surrender 3 spots now. As also it looks like the 48 of LaPlante snuck by.
Yeah, costly error for Zach Rogers, and sometimes the light does that to you. And he's now back. I believe it's in the 4th spot, maybe even the 5th spot in that number 3 machine. So now he's got to get around. Now he's got to get around the 48 lost in the plant and make his way back up to the front. As we got picture-in-picture here for the DRTV, we're going to show a replay of what happened to Zach Rogers there.
Yeah, guys, I said it earlier, and these drivers all know it, especially Zach. As you know, he's been the class of the field so far. A little bit of threatened by the 99, but he has been up front most of the evening. We're going to go ahead and play this through, slow it down just as he gets in there. He comes off the corner. He is currently drifting it out, trying to keep that car straight. He got airborne. He was not straight. He came down on that left front fender. If you guys all noticed that, we'll back this up just a second. He is getting sideways in the air right there. When that left front goes down and grabs, it's going to point his car out to the right-hand side, send him off the track, spinning through the grass, up the hill, comes back down on the track. Meanwhile, everybody else is still motoring by, so tough break for Zach, and he's probably kicking himself in the foot right now because he knows how important it is to get across them jumps straight. Back to you guys.
All right, so just scrolling back now through the back part of the top 5. Brandon Hawkins able to drive away. DJ Curtis is there. Zach Rogers has pulled his way back around the 48 of LaPlante, so move Rogers up to 3rd, LaPlante back to 4th. The best race on the racetrack, guys, appears to be around for that 5th spot. The 76 of Noah Carmichael, the 34 of Dean Woodward. They've been swapping spots around this race course, and now it is the 34 of Woodward who's at the advantage. But here comes Carmichael. That's a great battle there through the right-hander, Todd.
Yeah, Carmichael in that number 76 machine able to hold off the 34 of Dean Woodward there momentarily. Woodward still all over the rear bumper, and it's great to see these guys battling it out throughout the whole field here, Phil. We got a little bit of a bio here on the 76 of Noah Carmichael. He's driving a Subaru. As you can see, it's a Subaru out there on the speedway. Greenwood, Indiana, he's coming from. He's got cell on the phone, hashtag keep fighting Michael. Bio looking forward to his sophomore season with WG Motorsports and hope to follow up his rookie season, how it was with it getting a few more wins, especially looking forward to the IRL 2.4 hours of Daytona, the BP Indianapolis 500. And I'd like to know personally, he'd like to personally thank Dakota Wilkins, because if it wasn't for him, he would have never known about the world of sim racing. That's the 76 of Noah Carmichael. He's able to hold off the charges so far of the number 34, Dean Woodward. And Woodward, one of the older competitors here in the field.
Well, he certainly is. I believe 51 years old is Dean Woodward from Middleburg, Florida. Been racing on the dirt tracks, Todd, for 30 years, if you can believe it. Dean was, a racer up here in the Northeast for a long time. He's raced everything from street stocks to bomber stocks to anything you could possibly name. Dean has done that for many years. He's had 30 years of racing, 13-year veteran of sim racing. He's called leagues like TDR and TWA, and also, our own original league, Rich's own league, DRL Racing, Dean called home for many years. So he's certainly no stranger, somebody we have not seen on the racetrack in, probably been a little over a year since we've seen the 34 out there. So cool to see Dean back out there, and what a place to make a re-debut. Come out to a place like Island Rally here and do some rallycross racing. Certainly a different beast, and Dean so far having a good run of it, currently in that 5th spot.
Yeah, definitely having a good run in that number 34 machine. And like you said, Phil, it's been probably about a year and a half since we've seen Dean Woodward out there on the speedway, but he's knocking off the rust, and he's having a good run in that 34 machine. Like you said, Phil, top 5 right now for Dean Woodward in that number 34 machine.
Just going up and down through the bios. A new name to us here on DRTV. The first time we've seen him on the network. Number 83 of Emmanuel Hartnett. Now, I see this guy, very active on social media as far as the NASCAR 2003 fans page and whatnot. But the first time we've seen him here live on DRTV, coming to us today from Las Vegas, Nevada, driving the dustless blasting Mitsubishi, 17-year-old high school senior sports athlete. That's Emmanuel Hartnett. Cool to see him joining us on the speedway here, Todd. A lot of cool flavor, a lot of new names we're seeing this afternoon. I'm pretty excited to see a lot of these first-timers on DRTV.
Yeah, definitely excited to see a lot of these first-timers here on DRTV. We've been looking up and down through these bios, and it's interesting to see everybody out there on the speedway, Phil. And some of these guys gave us some nice lengthy bios, and others didn't. And they've been racing, we got the 02 of Blake McCandless. He's right now out there running 7th, not having the run he wanted. I know. He's got a Maker Ford. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina. TDR Racing Team Crush is their sponsor. He started sim racing in August 2009 on NR 2002, for that matter. His team is Team Crush, and his favorite real-life driver is Brad Keselowski aboard that number 2 machine. And I'm going to have to say he kind of drives like Brad out there on the track as far as asphalt-wise. Right now, not having a run that he wanted. I know he wanted to come home with the win of this race. And that number 02 machine right now currently running 7th is Blake McCandless.
Yeah, and also out there representing Team Crush, the number 33, Martin Karch, certainly having a rough go of it. I believe he's out there 8th on the racetrack. There was contact here a second ago between him and Emmanuel Hartnett that put both of them drivers around through turn number 2 and 3. Martin having a rough go over here today, but our friend from Hutchinson, Kansas, we've seen him here on DRTV multiple times out there soldiering along, Todd, but certainly off the pace.
Yeah, some of these guys that have been retired from this event, and I'm not sure if we got a race for a second spot. We're going to see what's going to happen there first before we get to some more of these bios. But the race for second between the 19 of DJ Curtis and the number 3 of Zach Rogers, look at all the time he's made up. He was almost 5 seconds back there, and now he's up on the number 19 machine of DJ Curtis. And Zach Rogers driving a little pissed off at himself there, coming over that jump, and he's almost sideways once again there, trying to get around the 19 of DJ Curtis, but able to stay door handle to door handle down here, down the little stretch here into the corner, and he's able to pull off the pass, put Zach Rogers back in the second. Now he has to play the hunter of the number 99 machine this time.
Yeah, and he's going to have to run him down 3 seconds, but I want to bring Rich back into the conversation. He's down there showing all the great looks and all the great angles we have here at Island Rally, but to think of a guy like Zach, Rich, we know he's been fast all afternoon so far, and now having to drive down 3.5 seconds, the kind of aggression you have to have when you have that kind of interval and knowing you have a great race car, what kind of discipline does that take as a driver to wrestle that thing all the way to the jagged edge, but keep as much control as these things if you can? If you have any kind of control of your car in a place like this.
You do, and you learn which corners, you can get through quicker, and you start adjusting your corners, your corner entry, your corner exit. And you got to know, what's coming after that corner, whether you got to be lined up straight or whether you can drift it up off the corners. And that's exactly what Zach should be doing right now. He's really paying attention to corner entry, corner exit, making sure he's square going across them jumps. And we already know Zach's fast. He already knows this track, and that's the key is understanding this track, where to be on the track at certain points, whether you're in the middle, the left, the right-hand lanes, what have you. It's all about setting up for every event that's about to happen, and this includes jumps, bumps, curves, you name it. It's all finding your rhythm, and I think between the 99 and the 3 right now, it's going to all boil down to who has the smoothest rhythm right now.
And Todd, as we see Zach starting to march down, as you said, kind of a little bit here, kitty action as he tries to trace down Brandon Hawken, our race leader. Last time around, as they hit the line, the interval was 2.33 seconds, but I'm thinking, just watching the way Zach is out there just charging at this racetrack as we see Brandon coming off now through turns number 12 and 13 and head down the front stretch. I'm very interested to see what the interval at the line is going to be as they head down here. It was 2.33 last time. I'm going to take a gander and say it's down well under 2 seconds this time.
No, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen here. No, he lost some time there. 2.33, 2.47 now. So it looks like the number 99 of Hawkins hit the loud pedal just a little harder to try to keep Zach Rogers a little bit further behind him. Maybe he was out front just minding his own business. Now he's seeing Zach shrink that gap, so now he's putting the hammer back down and trying to pull away from Zach and not trying to give him a chance to catch up to him. Another casualty of the event, the number 33, the Team Crush TDR Racing, number 33 of Martin Karstad Ford out of Hutchinson, Kansas. He's been sim racing since 1998, started with Ratbag DTR1. He's now out of the event. So 8 cars left on the speedway, Phil.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's going to be anything left of that car to Rich to even show a replay, but sounds like Martin got off course once again, got stuck up in the trees, and I think that thing is now officially terminal. So the TDR Racing Team Crush Motorsports claims they're going to have a lot of cars to put back together. As Martin put that one in the trees, and he's one of those guys. He would say, "Hold my beer and watch this, Todd." And well, I don't want to hold the beer, but we certainly watched him take a wild ride. That's going to put him out of the event. Going to leave 8 drivers left out here on the course.
Yeah, definitely hold his beer, Phil. You can give it back to him now. You held it for a split second, and his night is over. So I'm sure he wants to have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 12 of those. And after the event, that's not a finish that he wanted out there on the speedway finishing. Going to have to finish up 9th here on the track here this evening for the Highside Hustler Martin Karts. One of his specialties, road coursing and dirt mixed into one, and he's just not able to do so. I think damage early on in the event cost that 33 some time, and the motor was not all up to par aboard that number 33 machine. But we're going to have to see. I believe Mr. TV Time Rich Patton does have a replay of what happened to Martin Karts, the Highside Hustler. Rich, take it away.
Yeah, we've been trying to say it all night long, and it's all about rhythm, finding your marks and whatnot. And evidently what happened is Martin lost one of his marks, and it didn't end pretty. And it doesn't look like he got any major damage or whatever. But basically, as you mentioned, he did get stuck. We'll play this out. As you can see, he's getting over these little hoop-de-doos. 128 mile an hour was his speed on that last one. Comes across there, nosedives, spins it around, puts the back end up a hill. All of a sudden, his tires can't touch the ground anymore. He put his car in a situation to where he was stuck. He can't get out and push it. He can only call a tow truck. Tough break for Martin, but that's probably why he's lost a lot of ground sitting there now.
Looks like that 33 wrecking out, Rich, is going to put us once again under the caution flag as we're starting to approach the halfway marker. 36 of 88 up on the board. But Todd, we asked for a long green flag stretch of racing. I think we may see more as attrition starts to play into this race here. Is now it looks like half of this field is going to be gobbled up with damage and now behind the wall. So tough break for Martin, but it's going to allow guys like Zach was trying to run down Brandon in the 99. Brandon was starting to pull that advantage away a little bit. So if anything, the benefit of this caution is going to allow Zach to come in and maybe change some tires, maybe beat the damage back out on that thing. But it's going to put the racing back in his hands. And, Brandon was trying to just run off and hide, as we would say. And now we're going to just gather these guys all back together, and we're going to see some great racing for the lead here once again on the restart.
Oh, definitely going to see some great racing for the lead here once we get a restart once again. And Zach Rogers, hopefully he's not going to make another mistake like he did the last time by. And I know he's kicking himself in the rear. He's hoping for maybe a mistake from Brandon Hawken this time, maybe even on pit road, so he could get back out to the lead of this event. We're going to have to just wait and see what's going to happen here, Phil. It's been a trying and tribute night here early on in the going, so interesting to see if Zach Rogers is going to be able to come out.
All right, so we ride around under caution flag. I believe this will be number 6 of the afternoon here. DRL Networks live coverage of rallycross racing today from NRSL, a great league owned by Zach Rogers. And Zach, of course, a member of the Sim Racing Association. That's where the home base for you can find NRSL. Head over to simracingassociation.com and get in touch with the guys at NRSL. Click on the leagues portal. You'll see all the great leagues. 11 leagues represented right now as of this broadcast in the Sim Racing Association. A great bunch of groups of great leagues, top-notch, just like NRSL is here this afternoon with this a unique challenge for us here on the network. Off-road rallycross racing. The first time we've ever done anything like this as far as the road course types of disciplines. So as they roll out under caution flag, Todd, no, we have not talked to any of these drivers today that have been out there, and let's see if we can't catch it. I know Zach's got the race controls. I don't want to bug Zach and Brandon's out there. Let's see if we can't talk to our third place runner, that being the 19 of DJ Curtis. See if we can't get DJ on the horn. There we go. Think I got him moved in here. DJ Curtis, it's Phil from DRTV, my friend. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
DJ out there in the 19, currently in the third spot. Do you got anything for these top two guys here in the second half of this race?
Well, I mean, they're honest. If I hadn't, I mean, okay, so the problem for me is that I lost third gear actually early in the race. So if you're wondering why, I don't know if you figured that out during the race so far. I kind of fell a bit ways back during the green flag run, so had to adjust some of the shifting patterns there around. So it's going to be quite interesting. I think the top two are actually really the class of the field at the moment, so it's going to be quite something. It can be a miracle actually, but I think I just got to really manage the top five. It's really what my main goal is. Just take it easy and have some fun. That's really what matters the most. So,
well, this is certainly a first for us here as far as DRL Network with DRTV is concerned, doing any kind of rallycross broadcast. But do you have any kind of background whatsoever as far as racing like this, or is this just something that you figure, Zach and the guys are out here doing it and trying it out? Any kind of background at all as far as this kind of discipline of racing?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry, sometimes a bit of whispers come in, like other people are whispering me,
No, I was just asking if you have any kind of background at a place like an Island Valley or any kind of rallycross racing. Is this new to you, or is this something you're familiar with?
Oh, I've done this plenty of times. I've raced in other series and little more small leagues around. We use they use the Super Stadium truck mod around. And, I actually really do love this track. It's really fun when you don't have a gear loss, but I mean, it's a challenging. It can be easy if you can master it just properly, and it's really fun though. I really do love this kind of track.
Well, it's been fun for us so far. Well, DJ, first time we've ever got to talk to you here live on DRL Network. I want to give you the microphone to just give a shout to your friends and your family and your sponsors out there who may be watching us here live on YouTube as we speak.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Those that are watching, thank you for watching very much. You can see, if you're probably watching it right now, it's a bit delayed, obviously, knowing any stream, but thanks, just thanks for sticking around, even if you didn't stick around the whole time. I mean, just as long as you're watching it, you're cool in my book, so.
All right, well, certainly live with our voice. Probably about 7 or 8 seconds as far as the live stream goes, DJ, but we're certainly live. And once again, my friend, good to talk to you for the first time, and good luck the rest of the afternoon. I know you're down third gear, and those two guys in front of you are certainly fast, but keep that thing clean, and who knows, they may make contact, and you may find your way to victory lane. So keep that thing going, buddy, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, DJ Curtis aboard that number 19, Todd. I know these guys got their hands full today as far as, having to deal with race control and a different animal, so don't really want to bug too many of these guys as far as what we're going on. But DJ's a good one, great interview there, nice guy, and cool to catch up with some new faces here for the first time.
Yeah, definitely cool to see who else is out there in the NASCAR 2003 community and some of these different leagues. It's different change of pace. This mod's a different change. This track's a different change, and some of the drivers different change here to DRTV. But it's great to see new faces out there. Right now, after pit stops, Phil, the top 5 go away like this. The number 3 of Zach Rogers came out of the pit road first, as the 99 was first going in, but now Zach Rogers back at the helm. 99 of Brandon Hawkins sitting in that second spot. Third is the number 48 of Austin LaPlante. Fourth is the number 19 machine of DJ Curtis. Fifth is the number 02 of Blake McCandless. Now finally piercing the top 5 aboard that number 02 machine. The 76 of Noah Carmichael is 6th. 7th is Dean Woodward. Aboard the number 34, and 1 lap down to the field is Harnett. In the number 83 machine, it looks like he's almost on the tail end. I think he's going to get his lap back aboard that number 83 machine via the yellow flag, the lucky dog here for Harnett. So 8 cars left running out there at the Speedway, all left on the lead lap now. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen. A lot of guys, attrition has been the way of the land. The 33 of Martin Karch is out. He is finishing up in that 9th spot. 89 of Todd Truen finishes 10th. 11th was the 56 of Adam Samsel. 12th, it was the number 9 of Frank Divins. 13th, the number 8 machine. 14th was the 93, and 15th and 16th was the 15 and the number 1, respectively. Here, 16 cars did take the initial green flag. 8 cars, half the cars left out there on the Speedway.
Yep, we're not quite to a halfway break, but unfortunately, we have claimed half of this field here. 16 showed up to take the green flag here and try this new unique challenge. And as we head now, 38 laps of 88 on the board. We have 8 of those 16 drivers left remaining, and I believe, Todd, we're getting ready for a green flag as they work their way through turn number 13 under the bridge, and that's going to turn the controls back over to our race leader, the number 99 of Brandon Hawken, the 3 of Zach Rodgers also there as well. Austin LaPlante, the 48, DJ Curtis, the 19. It looks like that's going to be your restarting top 4. They roll up toward the line, waiting for the starter to uncurl that green flag. They're on the gas, waiting, and I believe green flag, Todd, is going to go in the air.
That green flag is back up in the air. They reached up there and pulled them belts one more time here at the Island Rallycross track here for the NSRL Racing League here. Zach Rodgers storms off down into turn number 1 like he has many times before here on these restarts. The number 3 is Zach Rodgers, 99. They're in tow. That's Brandon Hawkins, and he gets out of shape this time. Is he going to be able to save it there? He's all over the place in that number 99 machine, able to keep it right in the right direction there. Amazing hands and amazing driving by the number 99 of Hawkins. He's able to stay in front of that number 48 machine of Austin LaPlante. LaPlante there running in that 3rd spot. The number 19 machine is now trying to battle for that 3rd spot. DJ Curtis and Austin LaPlante off the road. They're off. Costly mistake for him. That's going to allow the number 76 and Noah Carmichael by him. Austin LaPlante, tough break as he went way up off the track.
Yeah, and that was a good corner for Noah Carmichael there. Not only he was around the plant, he got around the Blake McCandless machine. Blake was up in the top 5, and he got a little bit out of shape. And as these guys started checking up, the 76 is able to find a hole and get right back in the gas. And now Noah Carmichael, Todd, he's up to position number 5, and he's going to try to march forward as Zach Rodgers is at number 3, able now to break away from the rest of this field.
Yeah, right now Zach Rodgers, like you said, breaking away from the rest of the field, and he's out of shape there, two-wheeling it there, coming down the front straightaway with the number 99 of Hawken running second, third is DJ Curtis. But I tell you what, this has been a battle right here. Noah Carmichael in the number 76, the 48 of Austin LaPlante, and the 02 of Blake McCandless. These guys all tight together here on the speedway, and these guys have been tooth and nail fighting for that position. And here comes Blake McCandless now to the top side in that 02 machine. He's trying to get around the 76 machine of Carmichael, not able to do so. Woodward around, he's up in the grass, he's mowing that up there. And Woodward in the number 34, he was around, he was right there with those guys, and tough break for the number 34 of Dean Woodward.
Yeah, he was right on the back end of that, trying to maybe make that battle happen, and he got up on the whoops there, and 34 machine went around, so he's off course. Tough break for Dean. Also looks like the 76 Todd of Carmichael, he may have had an excursion off course too, as I see him rolling back onto the racetrack. Blake McCandless snuck on by. Austin LaPlante up ahead. He skirts off course, but those guys are all jumbled up right together, and now there's some separation there. It looks like there may be been something happening there between the 76 and the 48. Don't want to speculate, but those guys certainly now all sorted out, but all chasing our race leader. Zach Rodgers aboard that number 3. He's starting to check out again from this field. A good little advantage. Brandon Hawken, the 99, he's not too far away, Todd. It might be 4 or 5 car lengths. That 99, he gathered it back up, and he's now once again on the move as they hit turn 13.
Yeah, definitely on the move once again. As I was watching Harnett there through the back portion of the field there, and Harnett also having some issues now back in the grass of the 34 Dean Woodward. So Woodward was quite a ways back, and Harnett got off the track and got stuck there, but he finally got it out, and now Harnett back to racing action here in that number 83 machine. But I've been watching the back of the pack here, watching some of these battles going throughout the field as Zach Rodgers has been the limelight here of the DRTV broadcast, but the number 99 back up front once again. The 99 all over the rear bumper in the number 3 machine, and it's going to be interesting to see if Zach Rodgers is going to be able to hold him off, or is Hawken going to be able to capitalize and take off with the lead once again in that number 99 machine. But I believe there was an issue there between Noah Carmichael and another driver, maybe on the speedway, or something that was going amiss there with the number 76 machine. Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton has that view ready for you in picture-in-picture.
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on Noah Carmichael in that 76 machine, and there was no contact from what I can see. But basically what's happening here is it's all about missing your marks. If you guys notice, just in that jump as we're playing through this, he comes off of that jump, nosedives hard, the back end sets to the left a little bit. He's trying to overcorrect it. Never actually comes out. You can see the wheels are turned. He's pushing hard up into that corner. Gets up into the sand pit. That's going to slow him up quite a bit. That sand is like a sand trap up in there. So it's all about, you know, setting that car up for the next event. And it looked like Carmichael might have gotten in there too much heavy on the nose, a little too hot, and it just pushed him up to the top of that track. Got him up in the sand, and he lost some distance because of that. So it's all about making your marks in perfect timing. Back to you guys.
All right, and as we saw there just about a lap ago up through the light bulb, I know you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there, Zach Rodgers slipped up the racetrack through the light bulb. Brandon Hawken in that 99, Todd, he made the power move to the low side. Two-wheel drifted around off of through turn 10 and 11 and won that drag race down toward the right-hander through down toward 12 and 13. And Brandon Hawken once again emerges as a race leader, but Zach not going away as they hit turn 5 and 6. That 3 car is there.
Yeah, Zach Rodgers, you've been watching that battle up front. I've been watching the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th still. That's pretty hotly contested there. As O2 of Blake McCandless now back into the 4th position. His best now as the O2 is now up into that 4th spot as the 48 of Austin LaPlante is in 5th in that number 48 machine. Meanwhile, back up front, there was a side-by-side battle for the lead. And Zach Rodgers back out in front, and now here comes the 99 back down to the inside of that's Hawken in the number 99 machine. Zach Rodgers now takes back the lead. So there's a pretty good battle going on up here up front. You can see what portion of the track each one of these drivers are better at. And right now Hawken now back to that 2nd spot. This is where Zach Rodgers is pretty fast down the front straightaway. But Hawken not going away. These guys, one wet little battle here for the top spot.
No, it's great racing all over this place as Zach hits the start-finish line there with the race lead. Brandon right there in the 99 as well, racing in the 2nd spot as they head through turn number 1 and 2. Through the right-handers, they accelerate off of 2, up over the jump that leads down to the narrow right-hander toward turn 3. Both of those over clean. Zach getting a little bit wide, a little bit off the course, keeps the momentum up in that thing as they head down through turn 4, down the straightaway here now and accelerate on the brakes through turn 5. And as they hit 5, Todd, as we've talked about multiple times, this is the part of the course where the 99 seems to just come on fire as they head down through this left-hand little valley here. Brandon on the gas pedal. Zach with a great run. Brandon getting a little bit out of shape. That's going to allow the 3 car to scrape away a little bit as they head down toward now 8 and 9 through the jump, through the left-hand turn, and now down toward the light bulb. Well, this is probably one of the fastest parts of the racetrack here. You get to this corner, you jam the brakes on through turn 10, you let it ride up a little bit, let it roll, let it drift, turn it back to the right, start to ease back on the gas stick, long sweeping hairpin type turn. Both these guys, they've mastered it all afternoon. Why not do it again? Zach and Brandon, Todd, putting on a great race for the race lead.
Yeah, definitely put on a great race for the race lead. I'm going to look at some of these lap times, Phil, and I just want to see as we're coming up on halfway point. I want to look at some of these lap times that some of these guys are pulling off here through the field. And some of these guys, just keep in mind, some of these guys have some damage, but I'm waiting for the scoring and timing here to reset. Zach Rodgers last lap, 129.320. Here comes Brandon Hawkins. He's coming back for the lead here. Down through the short suit, so you know he had a little bit faster lap as he gave it up there. Looked like he hit the brakes just a little bit aboard that 99 machine, but he had a 129.175 was his lap time aboard that number 99 machine, 3rd place. And remember, he's without a gear, without 3rd gear in that number 19 machine. That's DJ Curtis, 129.351. Then you go back to Blake McCandless. He just ran the fastest lap of the evening for himself, 130.377. So that's a pretty good lap for Blake McCandless. Now it looks like we got a lead change up front. As just one more guy I'm going to cover here through Austin LaPlante. The 48 has a 1.30874 as he goes way wide, and looks like Noah Carmichael going to be able to capitalize on that. Put Noah Carmichael back inside the top 5 as I was trying to get ready for him. He's got a 130.599. That was not a bad lap here for Noah Carmichael. So these guys that are 3rd on back, Phil, are running 130s. The rest of the guys, the rest of the field has been running 129 second laps. Dean Woodward is out there still motoring around the track here. The 83 now retired from the event, Harnett. So 7 cars left out on the speedway, but Dean Woodward there in that number 34 machine. I'm trying to find him here through the track, and he's ran a 130.974 was his best lap. So these guys are staying consistent, trying to stay on the track, but it's gonna be able to cause them a top 7 or better here on the speedway. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is still going to play out. look at the attrition. Gearbox now, things just coming to mess on some of these guys now at halfway point of this race.
Well, we've seen a lot of contact, a lot of carnage. We've been marred by a couple of yellow flags that have slowed this pace down for certain. But at this point in the race, Todd, it's 2.85 miles around this place, 13 turns, elevation changes, bottoming them out, hard on the gas, off the gas, hard on the brakes, get these things slowed down. You think of the revolutions they're putting these cars through as far as the engines, the brakes, all the systems of these cars. It's only a matter of time. But before any of this equipment, this is a race that's going to be hard in the equipment, and it's going to be who can outlast it, who's got the car to get there, who's got the skill as far as in the driver's seat to make it all the way to the finish and keep these cars in one piece underneath you. So these guys certainly, game to the challenge, especially the likes of say Brandon in the 99, the 3 of Zach. Those two guys have been the class of the field. DJ, the 19, he's had a great run, currently third, down third gear. Which in a place like this, when you're really going to shift to do the break points right, Brandon doing a masterful job of it, or DJ, I should say, currently third in the 19. 2 seconds behind, but who knows, Todd? These guys may make a mistake at the front of the field, and it may put DJ up to the front. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, never know what can happen here at the top of the portion of the speedway, and never know what can happen to Blake McCandless. And Rich has that replay look at the O2 machine of Blake McCandless, and Rich, tell us what happened to Blake. I know he was down there stuck somehow.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad as far as stuck-wise, but once again, it's all about rhythm and finding your marks. Right there, you notice he got on the brakes hard. The nose dive down just a little bit as he comes through that corner. We'll play it through slow motion again. Nose dives down. He's pushing out. He knows he has to be centered up for this jump coming up. He hits it sideways, tries to overcorrect it, doesn't make it. That's going to put him up in the sand, gets through the sand, up into the grass. Takes him a minute to get that thing turned around into the right direction. And let me tell you guys, that sand is some sicky stuff. It is hard to get out of. It's best to plow through it and move on through it. But as you can see, he's working hard, trying to get that car going. He does eventually get it going, pointed in the right direction. But tough break for McCandles as he hit that corner at an angle, and that's what jacked him up. Back to you guys.
All right, so just recapping developments on the racetrack, we saw Blake McCandless go around in a tough break, Todd, for Noah Carmichael, the 76. He was running fourth. He was pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it looks like he got all kinds out of shape, and this was a long forming one from that jump. He just got out of shape, and he just could not gather it back in, and finally just spun towards the infield here, whatever you want to call it, the trees, all kinds of different things. He was in a knot there. It was a long progressive spin. You knew it was going to happen. Just it was a matter of where it was going to happen. And Noah Carmichael went around and lost many positions there. Now falls back into the clutches of Dean Woodward there for that 5th spot. So it's tough for that number 76 as he was having a good run, Noah Carmichael.
And I'm just peeking back, Todd, looking where the interval of the top 3 are, and looks like the pace of a 99 of Hawk and the 3 of Rodgers may have backed off a little bit, because the 19 of DJ Curtis, he's starting to run them guys down a little bit here over the course of this long run. And something to keep in mind here, Todd, a fuel window here. We're looking today, I believe, about 15 to 17 laps on a tank of fuel for these guys. So green flag pit stops may not be terribly that far away.
No, I don't think they're that far away, and you know what's going to be costly is he's out of 3rd gear there. But he's getting used to shifting around the speedway with 2nd, 1st, and 4th still left aboard that number 19 machine. So he's really starting to reel these guys in up towards the front here, and he's starting to reel in Zach Rogers. Maybe a strategy play. Maybe these guys are trying to save a little bit more gas. We're just going to have to wait and see.
What do you think, Rich? These guys, used up their goodie in their tires and maybe just losing it off rhythm a little bit, or do you think that it's just strategy by the 19, just conserving his stuff and picking this way forward? What do you think's attributing to that 19 running these guys down? Because no 3rd gear in a place like this, it's got to be challenging.
This is a very fast track. 3rd gear, from my own experience, I don't think 3rd gear is going to be that big of a deal. I don't really see them shifting too much unless they get into the last corner trying to come off the corner. They may start shifting. But otherwise, it's a very high-speed track except for those few things that, you want to break down hard for and slow down as much as you can. But most of the corners, you want to try to ride through them as quick as you can, which would help them to keep the gearing up. On the other hand, this is a long event. These guys are trying to be consistent. They're trying to follow their pattern or their rhythm. and it can be exhausting. I think maybe they're getting a little relaxed, maybe they're just off a little bit and they're not noticing it because it's just over and over and over again. And I think that 19 is doing a better job on keeping his rhythm and staying on top of it than these guys right now. But I'll tell you, once they realize he's right back up there with them, they're going to have to start focusing a little bit harder on him if they want to keep him back, because he's starting to show that they're not going to just get away from him right now.
Yeah, indeed, that's an interesting fact there, Rich, is that 19 has been keeping his rhythm there with the gearing ratio and different stuff that's been going on the speedway, and it just goes to show you how much he can go through and how much adversity that number 19 can go through with dropping that gear and being able to stay with those guys. And he's been on his rhythm, and that's a good thing for that number 19 of DJ Curtis. He wants that top 5, and that's a good way to do it. And that number 19 machine is we're getting ready. I believe these guys have come down pit road. There's no question that these guys aren't not going to come down pit road and get some fuel here. 99 of Brandon Hawkins, your leader. Zach Rogers is second. Third is DJ Curtis. Fourth will be Noah Carmichael. Fifth is Dean Woodward. Woodward, after that spin there, he's worked his way back up inside the top 5 in the number 34 machine. 6 is the 02 of Blake McCandless. McCandless running in that 6th spot in the number 02, the only Team Crush machine left out there on the speedway. And it looks like Austin LaPlante was on his roof in that 48 machine. He was towed back to the pits in that number 48, so that's a tough break for Austin LaPlante, as he was having a pretty good run. He was inside the top 5 also.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to go back and see if I can't get with our replay camera and find out what's going on with Austin LaPlante, see why he ended up on his lid. That's a tough break for Austin, but looks like everybody's under caution right now. The manual caution is out, evidently, and taking their course around the track. Nice, even speed. Looks like everybody's running right around 50, 55 mile an hour. And probably, like you mentioned, we're going to start seeing these guys all come down the pits and top these cars off.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to see these guys come down pit road, and here they come. The force being led by Brandon Hawkins. You know, Austin LaPlante still a long tow back to the pit area for that number 48 machine, still waiting to get some service there, as he's got a long tow back to pit road. As these guys all coming down pit road, I would not even think about putting 4 fresh tires and filling that tank up. We got 48 laps in of 88, so we got 40 laps to go here at the Allen Riley motocross track, Rallycross track. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Still, a long ways to go, but these guys, the dogfight's been happening between the 99, the 3, the 19 is starting to come into the fray. Can anybody else get into this fray, Phil?
Well, I'm not. I mean, obviously, I think we've established at this point that the top 3 are definitely the 99, the 3, the 19. They're the clash of the field. You know, I think it's going to be a race amongst themselves for the rest of the field to that 4th spot, but between Carmichael and Woodward, McCandless, and LaPlante. Those are the 7 guys left on the racetrack. I think those 4 guys are going to battle for that 4th spot for sure. They all seem to be very equal on different points of the racetrack, so we'll actually have to see how that all plays out. But, Rich, I believe I heard you say you're ready with a replay with the issues with the Austin LaPlante machine?
Yeah, most definitely going to keep our eyes on the number 48, Austin LaPlante. It's kind of weird. You know, we were flipping through the cameras earlier during the caution or what have you, and noticed that LaPlante was on his roof, so I had to go back and check out and see why he's on his roof when nobody else was, because that, you know, seemed kind of odd. So we went back and checked it all out. We're going to go ahead and run this through. Again, it's all about rhythm. He gets into the corner. We're going to stop it right there. We're going to try to switch cameras up so we can keep all the action right on view for you. As he comes off the corner, he's pushing hard. You can see that right front corner is down low. He's pushing out into the sand. He's up into a hill, comes off the hill. Let's flip this back around so you can see what's going on. We're going to go in slow motion some more. There's a big jump coming back on the track. He lands kind of offset, puts it on 2 wheels. That's going to get him up on 2 wheels. We'll go ahead and play this out through the rest of the camera as he gets it on his roof, rolls it over a time or 2, finally ends up on his roof, and ladies and gentlemen, this is our first turtle of the night. He just sits there on his lid, can't do nothing about it. Finally calls a tow truck, gets it back to pit road. Tough break for Austin LaPlante. Back to you guys.
And Todd, we've been on the air now for close to 2 hours with this thing, not quite 50 laps of 88 in the books, and can you believe it, at a place like Island Rally, with a road course, with the dirt, with the jumps, and all the carnage we've seen, that is our first turtle of the day. I'm kind of in disbelief at this point.
Yeah, definitely in disbelief. As I was watching, I went back to that replay as you guys were talking, and he was replaying that wreck. I was watching the race off of pit road, and that was rather interesting. I had to go from helicopter view just to look at to see who actually made it off pit road. And the lineup is definitely correct. I was thinking it wasn't correct, but I'm still thinking still not correct. But maybe I'm wrong. The 19, it should have been the 19, the 3, the 99, and the 02. It's definitely right there on the speedway. So that's good eyes by these drivers. I'm telling you, that was that close, Phil, for these drivers to even know what position they belonged in when they came off of pit road. It was close. I mean, it was. I thought McCandless actually was ahead of both of those cars, and it actually wasn't. But it's interesting to see. Some of the eye strengths. Some of these drivers are better than you or I. So I'm telling you that right now.
Well, as pertains to me personally, I'm not sure there's anything in the world that I may see better than, but that's just another here or there. We'll leave that for another day and another discussion. But we're awaiting green flag racing here at Island Rally, DRTV's very first trek to rally cross racing, and our first visit over to visit Zach Rodgers and all the guys at NRSL. Is a very unique event they put on for us here this afternoon. A Sunday matinee came on the air at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is now past 6 p.m. on the East Coast, and I know that dinner bell's starting to ring here, and I'm sure Rich is going to have a plate of food on his table if it's not already there, and he's probably already munching away eating. So we'll have to disturb Rich here in a minute again and get the food report down there, as he's definitely the connoisseur of the three of us. So we're awaiting this restart, Todd. I believe they've come off of 12 and 13 down the front stretch. Green flag is in hand.
That green flag back in the air. The number 19 of DJ Curtis leads them down into turn number 1 this time. The 3 of Zach Rodgers sitting in second. Third is the number 99 machine of Hawkins, and then the 02 of Blake McCandless. Those are your top 4 right now. The 76 of Noah Carmichael. Is Hawkins out of shape there? He's going to lose quite a few positions. McCandless going to capitalize. He's going to move into third in that 02 machine. Here comes Dean Woodward. So all kinds of cars are out of shape, and all kinds of guys is jumping into their grave and making sure that they take over that position. So no big carnage there, but they were all out of shape, Phil.
And as we say, McCandless was able to capitalize on the Hawkins issue of the 99. Well, when did you know, next corner, Blake goes down there, steps on it, shoots the corner, and allows the 99 to go right back on by. And now we look behind them. The 76 of Carmichael's around. The 48 of LaPlante may have, got a piece of that as well. But the 76 of Noah around in the wrong direction. He'll get that right. And tough break for that 76 now, Todd. He lost some precious ground now to not only LaPlante, but also McCandless and Dean Woodward, the 34 as well. They've all stuck on around.
Yeah, they just keep motoring around. A lot of these guys just war of attrition, like we said early on in this event. A lot of these guys just have to figure out what's going on. It's back up front. DJ Curtis has the lead still, and that's awesome for the number 19 machine. That's how well he's got through those gears. And up on 2 wheels is the 3 of Zach Rodgers. Wow, Zach Rodgers in second position, and that was a scary thought. I thought he was going over.
Well, just the proposition of Zach Rodgers alone is enough to scare a lot of guys. Now, Zach Rodgers out of control on 2 wheels. I mean, that's enough to just petrify anybody at this point. And Zach doing a great job. We know he's been one of the 2 fastest drivers all day, currently second. But a hats off to DJ Curtis, the 19. He's been, right there, tucked in that 3rd spot all day. And as we documented, we talked to DJ a little while ago, down on 3rd gear. So that certainly makes it a little bit trying here and makes a unique challenge for him, but he certainly got that all adjusted and acquainted, and he's been one of the faster cars on the racetrack, Todd, with the race lead, and albeit comfortably now. Zach can't mount a challenge on him.
Yeah, that's rather interesting. Is DJ Curtis really starting to? Looks like we have the number 48 of Austin LaPlante. He is now out of this event, retired. Behind the wall is Austin LaPlante. A tough night for him, as he was running real well and now finishing up in that 7th spot. So 6 cars left out on the track. 51 laps in of 88. So we got 37 more circuits left to go, Phil. 38 more circuits left to go here around this Island Rally here. So we're going to have to wait and see how many more. Attrition is going to bite some of these guys, but now the field able to separate here. The number 19 of DJ Curtis able to motor on through here, down the front straightaway here, off of turn number 13. He's able to stay in front of the number 3 of Zach Rodgers. We're going to have to see if that 99 can mount some sort of charge. His last time by he was 3.03. Let's see what this time by brings him. And that number 99 machine, 3.13. So the 99 of Hawkins struggling a little bit back there in that 3rd spot, Phil.
Yeah, and I think the answer to that, and I'm going to ask Rich the same question because I think he struck this a little while ago, and I think even now as we put laps in the books, he'll definitely echo the sentiment. How much of that is clean air, Rich? I mean, we saw Brandon, he was out front, he was able to stretch that lead. Now back in that dirty air, if you will, and, you know, behind these top two guys, he's starting to lose touch on these guys. Is that a project of the clean air for these two guys out front, or do you think maybe issues there, maybe getting off rhythm a little bit?
I think that there's, you know, I think there's a couple things going on. I think for one, you know, the guys up in clean air also, you know, like we mentioned earlier, they're going to find their groove, they're going to set their rhythm, and they'll be the one to beat. No matter who's up front, they're going to have the cleanest race as long as they can find their rhythm and find it quickly. You know, the problem is if it takes them a lap or two to find their rhythm, then somebody else is going to pounce on them. But bottom line, I think what's happening here is that the 99 is over trying. I think that's very easy to do on this track. If you get frustrated or you start getting a little bit too aggressive, you know, they always say fast, or what is it, the fastest car on the track is not always the winner. You know, it's about finding your rhythm and being as smooth as possible. And I think these two guys up front are showing that, and I think that's possibly, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going on with the 99 is he's probably trying a little too hard. And if I was in his ear, I would just say, hey, you know, calm down, find your rhythm, you'll catch them, don't worry about it, and get back in the mindset of being smooth. I think that's the magic here.
Well, as we talked about that, Todd, and there was a lap more on the books, we saw a great race between DJ and Zach for the race lead. There was a little bit of contact made where they went down through the light bulb, and they lost an awful lot of speed. That brought Brandon right back to the fray now. It was 1.7 seconds last time by. I think it's going to be even closer than that because he is right there now all over the back bumper of these guys. 53 laps in, going to put 54 on the board next time by, and wouldn't you know, Todd, we get in this far into the event, 3 cars going to battle for the race lead.
Yeah, definitely 3 cars going to battle for the race lead, and the 99 of Hawken now there. You could throw a blanket over them, and you wouldn't see a darn one of them here coming through these corners, Phil. It's just Hawken has, I think, listening to Rich in that number 99 machine, starting to reel these guys back in. Now here comes Zach Rogers down to the bottom side. He's trying to get around DJ Curtis, not able to do so there through that corner. We're going to wait and see if he's able to set him up once again, but Hawkins is right back there. Hawken is lurking, waiting for these guys to make a mistake, and he's going to be right there to pounce.
Right there to pounce indeed. DJ just trying to do all he can do to keep these two guys behind him. Zach seems to be the faster of the two. Zach's going to get that run to the inside part of the racetrack as they exit 13 now down the front straightaway. Not going to have the run. I thought he would have the position there as they head down toward turn 1, but he's going to roll out of that, let the 19 have that position. He's going to bring the 19 back in, the 99 rather, back into play as they exit turn 2. Down over the jump. They all make it just so clean. Little bit, you know, off the track there. The 3 sliding up off the racing surface a little bit. Keeps that thing in the throttle, but great racing here, Todd. The 99 of Hawken, he's going to look to the inside through the right-hander, and not sure he's going to have the run there off the corner.
No, definitely not going to have the run there off the corner. Looking at the rear bumper of Zach Rogers, that's pretty smashed in for the number 3 machine of Zach Rogers. So somebody's been bumper tagging him there in that number 3 machine. So now he gets a little off course, and that leaves the door open for Hawken. Hawken able to capitalize there momentarily. Hawken now pulling up alongside of him. Here he comes. He's down into the bottom side, and now he's going to do a slide job maneuver. The number, yeah. What an amazing move there as he bumps him a little bit. Is Hawken now in the 3rd spot. And Zach Rogers, Zach Rogers around in the number 3 machine. Spin cycle for the number 3, and that's going to allow Blake McCandless back around. And that's a costly mistake for the 3 of Zach Rogers as he gets all kinds of out of shape.
Unbelievable craziness. You know, again, it's all about finding that rhythm. Zach got a little bit aggressive in that corner, got that right front tire down there in the sand. It just grabbed onto it and spun him around, and Blake McCandless was there to pounce. So tough break. Now we got a race for the lead up there. The 99's trying to get in on the right side of the 19, and they're almost side by side, Todd.
Yeah, side by side, the 99 of Hawken down to the bottom side of DJ Curtis. Curtis has been leading here. He goes wide in the number 19 machine. He's in the sand. That's going to allow the door open for the 99 of Hawken. Hawken slide job on him, too. So Hawken, the master of the slide jobs, aboard the number 99 machine, put him up front once again in the number 99. The 19 is now back to the 2nd spot is DJ Curtis. Curtis not going away, though. He's back down to the bottom side, the right side of the 99 of Hawken. But we're right now Hawken continuing to lead. He gets a little bit out of shape, and DJ Curtis, you can see that he's down that gear, but he's very, very consistent aboard that 19 machine.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. He's definitely running consistent right now, staying right with the 99, who earlier today was one of the cars that were the ones to beat here, along with that number 3 machine. 3 machine drops out, or not drops out, but drops back due to a costly mistake. Now we've got a 2-car battle going on up front. The 99 currently your race leader. The 19's not letting him get away. It's, again, Todd, I mentioned it earlier, it's all about rhythms. You got to find your groove, and these guys are definitely finding their groove.
Yeah, definitely indeed. Finding their groove is the master plan for the 99 and that 19 machine. The 02 of Blake McCandless 4 seconds back of these top two dueling it out up front. And then you got another 8 seconds back to the number 3 of Zach Rogers, 14 seconds back to the 34 of Dean Woodward, and 43 seconds back to Noah Carmichael, who's had his share of trouble here tonight aboard that number 76 machine. But we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here up front, as it looks like the 99 is starting to pull away. Hawken in that number 99 pulling away, as it looks like the 19 off the track just a little bit. Curtis aboard that number 19 machine, he got off the track into the sand trap, and he's going to do it once again. He's trying real hard to try to catch that number 99 machine. Blake McCandless, meanwhile, still running back there in the 3rd spot. He was 4.00 back, now he's 4.02 back, so he lost a little bit of time to your dueling part leaders there, and now Zach Rogers is 9.43 back, so he's about 5 seconds back of the 02 machine of McCandless, so cost a mistake for the Zach Rogers machine of that number 3, who's been lightning quick all evening long, back in the tail end of this dueling pair, and now back behind the number 02 of Blake McCandless. So just going to have to wait and see if Zach's going to be able to pull something off. That's an awful lot of time to make up 9 seconds if we go green flag the rest of the way.
Yeah, no kidding. And again, when that much pressure's on you, and in the back of your head, you've got to get going, you start pushing yourself more than thinking smart. And, you could find your groove but not be comfortable because you're not relaxed. And, if that's the case, if he can't get back in his groove and relax and follow the track like he was doing so well before, he's going to be struggling with his own groove and his own rhythm until he figures that out. And, I can't stress this enough. This track is all about rhythm. These guys that have found their rhythm and they can settle down and relax in it, these are the fast guys. And as you see, that's what's going on up front right now. Zach's got the work cut out for him, but he's got to relax and get back into the groove.
Yeah, as you can see, the 99 machine of Hawkins still leading, and he's back into his groove in that number 99 machine. The 19 machine of DJ Curtis is in that 2nd spot, but Zach Rogers still has not found his rhythm, and you can tell that Zach Rogers has not found his rhythm, and he's all kinds of out of shape in that number 3 machine, and he's still trying to fight it, trying to get back to at least the 02 of Blake McCandless, at least get back inside the top 3, but right now about 3 seconds back of that 02 machine, so it's going to be interesting to see can he catch the 02 of Blake McCandless. They're running about identical lap times, but I finally seen somebody pierce inside the 128 barrier of lap times, and that was Hawken last time by 1.28. 0.67 or 27. So Brandon Hawkins really, really lightning quick, and that's the first guy I've seen in that 128 second bracket.
Yeah, and he's been fast all day, so I'm not shocked whatsoever to see those lap times go even to this point go into the 128, which is pretty impressive, Todd. If you think about just all the revolutions these guys have put on these machines here through these 2+ hours now, these guys have been under green flag conditions at a place like Island Rally, and as we've seen all afternoon, I mean, it's a rhythm racetrack, and you're really going to hit your marks perfectly to manage where all the dips and the dips are, the turns, the jumps, the bracing for where the impact is going to be when you come off the air and hit this racetrack. So it's so much that these guys have to worry about today, and these 6 guys that have soldiered on now through 58+ laps have done a great job of it. Zach Rogers having the hiccup, as we said, going to relegate himself now back to 4th. Got 10 seconds to run down here. 10 seconds over Brandon Hawk of the 99. The 19 of DJ Curtis, Todd, he's been certainly game to the challenge here all afternoon. Currently in that 2nd spot, but the 99 at this point seems to be driving away here as they burn off a little bit. And this one is, I believe, caution flag may be on the speedway again.
Yeah, indeed, caution flag is out there on the speedway once again, and I'm not sure why this time by it was out. I'm not sure why there was a yellow flag thrown. I'm still looking to try to figure out where the caution was, and these guys have been about the same seconds behind here the whole time, and I'm trying to look. I think it might have been the 34. No, Not even the 34. I'm not sure what brought out that yellow flag, Phil. I don't see any wrecks out there on the speedway. Maybe a competition yellow?
Not exactly sure. We'll have to maybe get something from race control there. See, the 76 was a little bit behind. Not sure if there was something amiss going on there, but he's been way behind there for a couple of laps, as Todd has said. So not quite sure why the reason for the caution flag, but now with just inside of 30 laps to go, you know, let's think of it this way, Todd. We haven't put it in these perspectives all day long. The fuel window of 15 to 17 laps, I mean, these guys can probably make it from one stop from here. So you think everybody left out there at this point may just come on pit road and just bank on coming down just one more time?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I think they'll actually come down. It looks like the yellow flag was out for the number 3 of Zach Rogers. It looks like he just kind of got out of shape there in the number 3 machine, and that's what brought out the yellow flag. Not sure.
Okay, it was. Oh, sorry, Todd. I was trying to figure out where you found the Zach machine around the wrong way, but I guess that would be the caution. The number 3 going around. You know, Zach was having a great run all day long, and who knows? Maybe he could turn that back around with the benefit of this caution flag and maybe regather himself up and maybe make a late charge at this thing. So we'll have to update what's going on. But here, of course, Rallycross Racing for the first time ever on DRTV. Find us at drlnetwork.com. Get your league live on DRTV. Get Rich, Todd, myself, maybe even Joe if he's available. Get the 4 of us over to your place and showcase all the great things your league has going on. Just like we're doing here this afternoon at NRSL, doing some Rallycross racing at the Island Rally Racetrack. And you know, Zach Rogers, all the guys over here at NRSL did a great job putting this event together. Zach giving us all these great bios and information and a great format for this event. They had all lined up. 16 drivers took the green flag this afternoon, just outside of 2 hours ago. 16 started, 6 drivers, guys, left on the racetrack, and it's been a great one here. The stories have been Brandon Hawken and Zach Rogers and DJ Curtis, but can anybody outside them top 3, Todd? You know, we see Blake McCandless. We know how methodical Blake can be, just as far as taking care of his equipment and stuff. Do you think Blake may have anything left for these guys?
I don't know. Blake has been running pretty well all evening long in that O2 machine. I almost wonder if we probably should get a word with Blake and see if he has anything for him. Phil, can you dial him up, or whatever you do? You touch these magical buttons and get these drivers.
Well, let's see if we just can't do just that. See if we can't dial up the O2 Blake McCandless. See if we can't touch that magic button. Maybe grab Blake out of race control here. There we go. We'll see if we can't drag Blake into the booth. Think we got him here now. There we go. Blake McCandless. It's Phil from DRTV, buddy. Do you have a copy?
Yeah. Got you loud and clear.
All right. Well, we were talking here. We've talked about the story all day. The 3 fastest cars on the racetrack have definitely been the 99, the 3, and the 19. But you find yourself there in the 4th spot now. Do you have anything left to chase these guys down? Do you got a race car left underneath you, or you going to bank on these guys messing up and passing them?
Well, I know I definitely have a race car under me. I spent the first portion of this race just taking care of it and making sure it was all clean and polished and whatnot. So I know I got a race car left for them. It's just these guys are fast, and if anything, it may be a little hard to kind of lay off a little bit and then expect to go. So I've kind of been trying to find my way back into a fast groove. I know I was putting down a few 129s that last run. So just getting back in the groove and being able to hopefully run with these guys, because, man, they are fast.
Well, we're under 30 laps to go here now, Blake. So I'm assuming, one more pit stop from here for everybody. Can you guys pit from now and make it on just one more and take these things all the way to the end? How's tire wear been as far as that's concerned?
Tire wear hasn't been a concern at all. I guess it's dirt. You don't really have to worry about it. But I know fuel, we will definitely have to look at strategy around here. It looks like these things can go anywhere from 12, 13, maybe even 14 laps, and we're going to restart with right at 28 to go. So it should be interesting for you guys. Maybe fuel strategy will be something y'all can talk about here as you come to the end of this thing.
Well, it's something that we definitely have to take into account for sure, Blake, as we parade around this thing. But once again, my friend, we're a teammate to all of us here. We talked to you quite a bit, but something completely different we're doing here this afternoon as far as rallycross racing. Do you have any kind of background as far as off-road racing like this at all? Because you certainly have been game to this today and been really, really quick as far as the rest of this field, how you stacked up. But any kind of background in this kind of style of racing at all?
Absolutely not. I saw this event being put on, and I saw the hype around it, and I just thought I'd strap in and give it a shot, and put some practice laps down. And I mean, it's definitely a lot of fun to drive. I'm actually here driving in the cockpit. I usually run in the chase view, but it's a little different here with all the elevation changes to be running that view. So I've kind of been running the cockpit to keep my head a little bit clear, maybe not motion sickness. But it's been fun. It's been new. It's something that, I mean, obviously these guys have maybe had a little more practice at, because, man, they're really willing it around this place. But I've had fun, and I don't know. We'll see as we come down here to the last 28 laps or so what happens here with these front three. I know the 19 ran out of third gear, and, man, he's putting up a hell of a fight up there.
Well, I know we're going to be in kind of a delayed caution here, Blake, so I want to give you the microphone one more time to give a shout-out to all your friends, your fans, your sponsors, whoever else may be watching us here on DRTV today. So the mic is all yours.
Oh, of course, I got to thank everybody, I guess, watching me, supporting me, of course, everybody in this league, and, throughout SRA, just being able to support this event. I got to thank everybody at Team Crush, because they're a great team, and I'm really proud to wear the Team Crush logo on the side of this Ford right here. And again, just got to thank everybody for putting this event on. Got to thank you guys, because I know you guys put a lot of work into doing this marathon. So, congratulations to you guys, and thanks for putting this event on.
Well, as a teammate to you, Blake, we wish you well the rest of the day. That orange and purple and white car looks awesome out there, so give that thing a ride for us. You're making us all proud, having a good run. Keep it going.
All right, I sure will, and, shout out to Martin Karch. This thing looks pretty nice.
Yeah, indeed it does. Well, Blake, we'll let you get back to it. That's Blake McCandless. Todd going to restart in, looks like the third spot. We know Blake's very quick, but does he have anything for these top two guys? I guess we're going to find out here. We're under 30 laps to go, and he's going to restart third, and we're getting ready for the green.
And get ready for a green flag racing. Blake McCandless at the helm aboard that number 02 machine, the 19 of DJ Curtis, and the 99 machine rounds out your top three. That's Hawkins. He's been fast all evening long. Keep your eye on him. McCandless restarts. Green flag is in the air. The loud pedal is down, and McCandless takes him down into turn number one. And what a whale of a start here over that number 19. Again, remember the 19 of DJ Curtis has no third gear, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays up through the gears here behind McCandless. Still running in that second spot. Third is Brandon Hawkins in that number 99 machine, the 34, Dean Woodward. He is fourth. Here comes Zach Rogers. He's in fifth. Now he's capitalizing on Dean Woodward's mistake over the jump, and he moves into fourth. Zach Rogers, give him fourth.
Yeah, we know Zach's been fast all day long, and I saw restarting fifth certainly was not going to be something he was happy with. He put Woodward down real quick, and now going to try to run down these top three, McCandless, Curtis, and Hawk in the 99. Blake trying to do a masterful job holding off that 19 behind him as they work through turn 7 there now, working through the valley of the lefts, as they would say, going to make the left-hand turn down through the jump here and head down toward the light bulb, which is turn number 10 and 11. McCandless holding off that 19. Hawkins is right there as well. Zach Rogers the 3. It's a 4-car race, Todd, as they hit turn 10.
Yeah, McCandless drifts up the track there, up to the top side, leaving the bottom open for that number 19 of DJ Curtis. Curtis trying to pull up alongside him, not going to be able to do so. Power move on the high side there for the 02 of Blake McCandless. McCandless now able to go through here, down through the corners. Here coming up to the top spot here is the 02 machine for leading this lap. He's going to pick up a quarter, it looks like, in that 02 machine. He's going to indeed do so here. Going to pick up a quarter for leading the lap. So McCandless now leading here, his lap time 1.31.267, and then the guy right behind him now in that second spot now is Brandon Hawkins. Slide job maneuver on the 19 of Brandon, or on the 19 of DJ Curtis. Curtis is running in that third spot. Look at Blake McCandless, and Rich is whispering in my ear. Look at Blake, all by himself in clean air. He hasn't been up front all evening long in clean air. Look at how much justice that does for that number 02 machine.
Yeah, and Rich, as usual, this money, Johnny on the spot with it, Blake out in the clean air, and you see these guys like DJ, Brandon, and Zach, they're racing tooth and nail. Brandon getting a little bit out of shape. DJ's going to go around. Zach's going to also go around. A little bit of contact at the exit of that jump. The 3 almost landing on top of the 19 as they just landed on the ground. That got them guys all sorts of out of shape. That's allowed the 02 of McCandless to sneak back away. How about the rough of that 02? Todd laid in the weeds all day, just kind of finding his point, taking care of his stuff, and now finds himself the lead of this thing. And just as we say that, just on the cue, he slips up a little bit, and that's going to bring the rest of them 3 guys right back into the race. But I think these last 25 laps, they're going to be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, though, too, where'd he come from? That's kind of the ordeal for Blake McCandless. He was out, like you said, laying in the weeds, waiting to pounce, I guess, in that O2 machine as he's motoring down the front straightaway, and he's got a pretty good lead over second here of the number 19 machine of DJ Curtis, 1.03, 1 second, 0.03 over the 19 of DJ Curtis is the O2 of Blake McCandless leading this event here late in the stages of this event. So, you know, they always say the cream rises to the top. He's been laying in the weeds, and some of these guys that have been fast all evening long now have to put up with him and try to get around him. Are they going to be able to get around McCandless? We're just going to have to wait and see. Is it we do have some green flag pit stops or maybe even some yellow flag pit stops if we do get another yellow flag. McCandless said we had 12. Yeah, now he's off in the weeds is the O2 of Blake McCandless. That's going to leave the door wide open for the 19 of DJ Curtis, and McCandless now in that second spot. Zach Rogers now fighting him for second, the tooth and nail. Here comes the 99 of Hawkins. These guys all right together, Phil. This is an exciting race, 1 through 4.
Yeah, and I don't think we can call this getting late yet, but the darkness is certainly creeping into the night here as we get to the latter parts of this race. So a lot of racing here left to go. There's a lot to still sort out, at least one more pit stop for these guys to make. But how about the racing for these top 4? DJ now getting clear and getting in that more important clean air, but a tremendous race for that second spot. Hawkin there on the left, McCandless on the right. Those guys just keep changing position. And don't forget Zach Rogers in the number 3. He's been fast all day. He's just biding his time. He's going to look to the low side of Blake now as they exit through turn 12. Almost contact there. Now finally back Todd. Single file through these top 4. But if what these guys are doing as far as the quality of racing are doing is any indication, I don't think these guys are going to be single file long.
No, I don't think they're going to be single file long for these guys. These guys slicing and dicing their way around this track, and Rogers looking for a way around McCandless. McCandless says didn't mess up over that jump, but the O2 the 3 machine did mess up, and Zach Rogers messed up a little bit, giving a little bit of way to the O2 of McCandless. But here comes Rogers firing back down to the inside. This is a battle for the 3rd spot. McCandless way up top. Rogers able to pull alongside of him and get the maneuver on him and move into that 3rd spot. And he's going to pull a twofer off, it looks like. And Zach Rogers, he looks like he's going to be able to get around the 99 machine of Hawkins, put Rogers up to 2nd, all in a couple of corners there, Phil.
Well, I think what happened there was Hawkin had the run on DJ Curtis in the 19. Looks like DJ slammed the doors a little bit, broke all the momentum the 99 had, and that allowed Rogers, as he was making the pass on McCandless for 3rd, I think that allowed him to keep that momentum and just propelled him to drive right on by the 99. He did just that, moves Zach now back up to that 2nd spot, and he is on the prowl there. He is all over the back bumper of a 19. But as we've documented all afternoon now, the 19 down on 3rd gear, and I'm not sure, Rich, and I'll ask you this question though, when you have all these laps around this place, how much is losing 3rd gear in a place like Island Rally? What spots on the racetrack do you think that's affecting that car the most?
I think it's primarily 2 turns. I think getting into the light bulb, as you call it, is probably going to be one of them. And also the last turn, coming into the straightaway. I have overshot that corner so many times. And it's all about getting brakes and diving down low into that corner to swing it out to the edge of the track, you know, to get on the front stretch. And it's all about keeping up your momentum and keeping up your speed. And as long as he keeps that speed high enough in that car for as long as he can, I don't think that gear's going to bug him too much, other than those 2 corners where he's got to check up really good. But again, from 2nd to 4th, he can probably manage that. I'm sure, you know, I don't know what the setup is in these cars tonight, but I'm sure 3rd and 4th gear is not that far out of whack. And if that's the case, I don't know that it's hurting him that bad. And as you can see what he's doing on the track, it doesn't appear to be hurting him that bad. So I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal at this point.
Well, you can see where he's being eaten up a little bit, Todd. Through the middle sections of these racetracks, the technical course, parts of the course where you're on and off and turning left and turning right, and maybe trying to shift up through those gearboxes to accelerate. That may be where it looks like that that no third gear may be hurting the 13, but you get around through the high-speed parts of this racetrack, he can certainly just pull away because, you know, as they get off at 10 there, down through 12 now and 13, he's able to accelerate really, really well, and he's keeping those guys behind him. But just as we say that, here comes the 3, and here comes the 99 of Hawken. They can be 3 wide as they head toward turn 1.
3 wide into turn number 1. This may get ugly coming down into turn number 1. The 99, oh, Zach Rogers backs out of the middle. He wanted no part in that one. Hawkins now going to move into that second spot. Rogers moves back to third. But, oh, boy, I didn't think that was going to handle 3 wide, and I thought they were going to wholesale it right into turn number 1, and Zach Rogers does not want any part of that. He backed out of it. He took a loss in the spot as Hawkins really, really aggressive with that number 99 machine. And you can see it once again as he tries to get around the number 19. He leaves the door wide open for the 3 of Zach Rogers. Blake McKenna just sitting back there in fourth. He had one well of a view on those 3 guys.
He did, and they were going 3 wide down there. I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. You couldn't hear me, and I had the mic open, but I wanted to see them go 3 wide, and I'm not sure if Zach rolling out of that was just smart or if he's just a plain old chicken, because I wanted to see them play that game of chicken 3 wide over that jump. So I'll clown on our friend Zach. I know we like to bust tail with him quite a bit, but chicken, Zach, I wanted to see you go 3 wide over that jump, and maybe they can do that again, Todd, because that might be one of the most exciting moves we've seen all day, and it paid off for Brandon Hawken. He was able to use that maneuver going all the way down to the low side and having, as far as the preferred line, going into turn 1, and now, once again, the 99 has emerged himself as the race leader.
Hawken back into the race lead. The number 19 machine is now in that second spot, DJ Curtis. And Curtis able to pull up almost alongside the 99 down this front chute here. The 3 of Zach Rogers. Here comes the 19 for the lead, trying to get to the lead here. That number 19 machine, I don't think he's going to be able to pull off that passes. Here comes Hawkins. Slide job in front of the 19. That's going to kill the momentum of DJ Curtis. That's going to allow the door wide open for the 3 of Zach Rogers. And Curtis goes way off into no man's land there, almost up above the rumble strips there, into the sand. That's going to allow Zach Rogers here momentarily into second in that number 3 machine. The number 19 of Curtis drop kick him back to that third spot. He leaves the door open just a little bit for the 02 of Blake McCandless. McCandless not able to capitalize and put McCandless still in that 4th spot.
Yeah, and what we talked about through the middle parts of this race, it was a 3-car battle up near the front. Well, now with Blake McCandless in the mix, it's a 4-car race for the win here as we get now past the 3-quarter mark. 67 laps of 88 up on the board. So, you know, we said the darkness is starting to turn into night, and it's starting to get late, Cinderella. We're getting down to the end of this thing. Hawken with the lead. Curtis is right there. Rodgers now up to second. McCandless right there in view. A great 4-car race as we get down toward the latter parts of this race. And you got to think here, Todd, in the back of their mind, pit stops. I mean, we're probably about, maybe 6, maybe 8 laps away from maybe their last pit stop. What do you think these guys can do as far as they're racing hard tooth and nail, but what can you do at a place like this to maybe save fuel and maybe guarantee you're going to make it on one more stop?
I'm not 100% sure how you're going to save fuel. You're going to have to back out of it a little bit. This is a different kind of ball game here to save fuel around a track like this. It's pretty aggressive. You're wide open constantly around this track, and both the leaders out of shape there. Both at the same time. Rogers gathers it back in. The 19 of DJ Curtis going to be able to move into the second spot. Rogers and the 99 of Hawkins were out of shape both at the same time. Hawkins able to gather it back up, and he was no Sally there in that number 99 machine. He kept it full throttle when he was saving that.
And Rich, with the ferocity these guys are driving around this place, I mean, they're certainly holding it wide open, but is there anything you can do as far as in the cockpit? Is there any kind of way you can save fuel and maybe guarantee that you make one more stop from here? Because, I mean, let's just face it. I mean, it's a long racetrack. It's a long pit road. I mean, to have to make that extra stop, that could be the difference between winning and losing this race today.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the other thing is that pit road speed is only 35 miles an hour, which is a lot slower than what a lot of, these race drivers are used to on the bigger tracks and the paved tracks. But, a green flag pit stop, if they don't go all in together, could drastically change this game. I don't know. As far as saving fuel, this is definitely a push the gas pedal as hard as you can through the floor track. And I don't see that if you're lifting anywhere, it's going to benefit you. I guess, if you can go fast enough and get some more air time, let off the pedal in the air is all I can say.
Well, We've been on the air for 2.5 hours now, but Rich has always, got some kind of good insight, what they think they can do. And I'm not sure, Todd, if being as wary as we all are here, and these guys on the racetrack who have certainly laid it to the wood all afternoon, I'm not sure they have anything left in the tank as far as just mentally to even think about a fuel strategy at this point and a way to conserve stuff. I mean, these guys have been just had it down to the floor for 2.5 hours now, and they're still getting at it, man. I mean, this is certainly a great show for these guys up front.
Yeah, they indeed took their Viagra pills here early on in the going, and now it's just still taking effect through here as these guys are really fast and still pretty stout around the track and still keeping that throttle down. They're throttle hungry, and I don't see anybody saving gas amongst that top four.
I'm not exactly sure how to follow that one, Todd, with the dimensions of supplements and the age these guys are. I've certainly, a lot of the young demographic we have in this crowd, not sure that's the advertisement we want for them, but these guys are certainly, completely up to the challenge, if you would say, this afternoon. This top four starting to spread itself thin a little bit, and I'm hearing guys really, really on and off the throttle, Todd, so maybe fuel consumption is starting to creep into the back of these guys' mind. I'm hearing guys like DJ, I'm hearing Blake certainly doing it. They're kind of feathering their gas pedal, so fuel mileage, Todd, certainly starting to creep into the back of their mind here now with 18 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. You're seeing the 19 and 02. I don't see the first two runners actually doing it, Zach Rogers or the number 99 machine of Hawkins. Those guys are still full throttle, and 1.2762 is the last lap there, 1.28 for the 99 machine. And then also the Zach Rogers machine, 1.28. So these guys have not let out of the throttle. But you go back to third, 1.30, fourth, 1.30. So they're saving gas. They were running in the 129 second bracket, and now they're saving fuel. Like you said, Phil, I think these guys third and fourth are hoping these guys just keep pressing themselves that hard.
Well, it's certainly going to make for some drama as we get to the end of this thing here. 70 laps rather up on the board. 88 is the distance. These guys now working through the light bulb, turns number 10 and 11. Accelerating, letting it slide on through that corner, through that big hairpin right-hander. So far, it looks like it's hawking out with about a 2-second advantage over Zach Rogers. Then another 2 seconds back to the race for that third spot between Curtis and McCandless, who currently run third and fourth. Two other drivers left on the racetrack. Dean Woodward, the 34, currently fifth. Noah Carmichael, the number 76, is currently the last car on the racetrack in sixth. 10 drivers out of the event. 16 showed up here about 2.5 hours ago. Austin LaPlante, Emmanuel Hartnett, Martin Karch, Jack Truin, Adam Samsel, Frank Divins, Chris Dodd, Rick Johnson, Joey Murphy, and Tristan Wilhoit. All those guys took the green flag about 2.5 hours ago. And as we talked about, Todd, a marathon here this afternoon. Attrition was certainly going to play a role in this race, definitely as far with the challenge here as far as rallycross racing goes. And 6 guys left now with now inside of 16 laps to go. A lot of racing here left to go. These guys getting around, as you said, about a minute and 29, a minute and 30 seconds. So a lot of turns, a lot of laps, and a lot of racing here left to go. But we're certainly setting up for a dramatic conclusion to this thing.
Yeah, we certainly are setting up for this dramatic conclusion, and hopefully no yellow flags, no other issues out there. I'm not sure if the competition yellow will even come out. I think this is going to end on some green flag pit stops this time. We do have 6 cars left out there running on the speedway of the 16 that started, so we had 10 fall to attrition, including the 48 of Austin LaPlante, who was our most recent one, and that was quite a few laps ago. So these guys have been hanging 10 and actually motoring around the track. Right now, the 76, Noah Carmichael is 1.0677, so he's in danger of going a lap down. Aboard that number 76 machine, Dean Woodward still inside the top 5 with but he's also 43.15 back. And it looks like Zach Rogers coming down pit road aboard the number 3.
We'll see what's it going to be, the strategy for that 3 machine from Massachusetts. Zach Rogers bringing to the attention of his crew, Mountain Dew crew there, 35 miles per hour, as Rich said. I mean, it is an eternity down this pit road. It is really, really long, and we'll have to see what it's going to be. I mean, we at least going to know he's going to top it off on fuel. The question is there going to be any tires? And, as we heard from Blake here a little while ago say, the tire wear may not be so bad. So Zach hits the sign, no tires whatsoever. They're going to put fuel in that thing, maybe beat out the rear end a little bit. That thing looks to have a little bit of damage to it, but looks like it's going to be just a gas and go, Todd, for the number 3, and I believe also the 19 of DJ Curtis on pit road, Todd.
Yep, 19 of DJ Curtis on pit road. Does not look like he's getting tires. Also the 34 of Dean Woodward in on pit road. And Woodward looks like, I'm trying to catch up with Woodward here, see if he's actually going to get some tires. Phil, do you have Woodward there?
I do got that Subaru WRX, the number 34 of Dean Woodward, rolling to the attention of his crew, 35 miles per hour, a long pit road. He takes the hard right-hand turn. He'll hit the sign, and we'll see. Is it going to be getting tires on his Subaru this afternoon? Looks like it's going to be at least left side tires for the 34. He does have left side work going on. Waiting for that to go down. Definitely just 2 tires there so far. They get a swing over. Yep, right side tire. So it's going to be a 4-tire pit stop. So we've seen the race leaders, Todd, taking gas and goes here. Woodward's going to take 4 and waiting for him to go, and he's down and away.
Here comes the 99 of Brandon Hawkin, the 02 of Blake McCandless. Those guys now visiting pit road here. Have to get some fuel into their machines. Going to have to wait and see. I believe this is right around 12, 13 laps on the field run, like Blake was saying, Phil. I don't see these guys were able to stay out just a tad bit longer than, say, Zach Rogers of them. They were able to save some fuel. So we're going to see what I'm with the 02 right now. I don't know if you can catch up with the 99 here. But the, well, we can see both of them here on camera, and I indeed can do the same thing. It looks like no tires to call for either one of these guys. Looks like they're going to be able to get some fuel aboard those machines and no tires, so they're going to be able to join the fray. We're just going to have to wait and see how this is going to all shake out.
Yeah, well, looks like the 99 service is done. The 02 is down and away. Zach just crossing a start-finish line, so we'll have to give this a good lap to see where the interval is going to play out, but looks like that was Zach screwing past the 02, and looks like Brandon may have beat Zach off a pit road, and just kind of looking where they all have sorted out, that's going to be where the race for the lead shapes up. So Brandon Hawk is going to win that race. Zach Rotter is going to be right in his tire tracks, Todd, and none the worse for wear. Just behind them is Blake in the 02, but who's going to have enough fuel from here? Can anybody make it from here? That's the question.
I don't think anybody can make it. They're going to have to save a lot of fuel. That's almost 4 laps there. As Blake would say, 12, 13 laps. You're going to have to save a good 3 or 4 laps. I don't think that's possible around this track.
So a lot of drama still to unfold here through these last 15 circuits. It's 73 of 88 on the board. Brandon Hawkin aboard that number 99, reasserting his way to the race lead. Zach all over his back bumper in that Mountain Dew machine. That Subaru really up to the challenge this afternoon. Currently in that second spot. See what the interval is next time by at the line, Todd. I'm going to think it's going to be somewhere right around that 3-second mark as Blake is falling past, the wayside in the 02. It looks like a tough pit stop for the 19 of DJ Curtis, Todd. He lost an awful lot of time as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to come up through the gears like we were saying, and maybe he's actually saving some fuel too, more than 19, and trying to save as much fuel as he can, because he does have to be in 4th. And a lot of these guys going around this track are running 3rd gear and just barely running 4th, so they're not running 4th very much. But that would be kind of like a conserve mode. But 19 is indeed way back, 44.45 seconds back, actually, of the leaders right now.
Well, I don't think it's going to be quite 45, but it's going to cycle out. We're going to let that catch up 19 seconds. So not quite 20 seconds behind. McCandless is 4 seconds behind these guys. So maybe those two are going to be in some kind of conservation mode as far as fuel, as they stopped a lap later than Hawkin and Zach did here, the 99 in the 3 respectively. But a great race for the race lead. Those two guys with all the racetrack in the world to use, they're going to use it up against each other here as they work down through turn 6 and 7. They're going to head up now toward the valley of the lefts and up toward the light bulb. But, with less than 15 laps remaining there, Todd, it's going to be settled amongst these two guys for now, and they're certainly not going to, just hand it away to the other. I mean, these guys are still racing hard.
Yeah, they're definitely racing hard, and it looks like right now that they're able to settle between themselves. But like you said, fuel mileage is going to pay. You're going to have to pay close attention to that fuel mileage and the strategy that these guys are going to have to pull. Still waiting to see where these guys are going to shake out. I think Zach Rogers wants to lead a few more laps here and try to keep picking up that 25 cents. That's what the 99 of Hawkins is doing right now. Hawkins is doing right now. Is he's able to lead a lot of laps, and I'm not sure. I was keeping track there for a long, long time of how much these guys were making leading laps, but I kind of lost track.
Well, maybe you can run that couple of dollars of spare change you got there, leading laps, Todd, and maybe get us to that vending machine. So, I mean, we could probably use a pick-me-up, maybe a granola bar or something here as we're approaching the 6:30 hour here on the East Coast. I mean, or 7 o'clock. Right? It's almost 7 o'clock. I didn't realize it was that late already. Certainly getting a little bit hungry, a little bit down on energy, but guys, certainly not down on energy. Are these guys out there still motoring around the racetrack? The 99, the 3, they kind of separated themselves a little bit now here, Todd, about 10 or 12 car lengths between the two, and then a big gap back to that third place running, the 02 Blake McCandless. It is 5.5 seconds. So you got to imagine here, it's completely two different strategies for these guys. The front two seem to be running a little bit harder, maybe a little bit conservative now, when the 02 of McCandless, the 19 of Curtis, those guys are in full-on conservation mode at this point. A lot of drama here left to come. I'm not sure anybody can make it, but it looks like those two guys, the 02 and the 19, if anybody's going to try it, it's going to come from that camp.
Yeah, definitely going to come from that camp, and the reason probably they're saving is you got cans that you can take, and you don't want to take the less cans that you can take into that car. You're going to get out there faster. It's going to save you precious seconds out there on the track, and if you can get on pit road really well and then off of pit road, you're going to be able to save those precious seconds and actually catch up to these guys if you can stay within an earshot of them. I mean, 5 seconds is about the limit, I think, Phil, of trying to make up some of this time, unless some of these guys actually make some huge mistakes coming on the pit road. But I know neither one of these top two can make it, because they did pit earlier than say the 02 or the 19.
We got a lot here left to go. 12 laps remaining. Working now 76 of 88. The Island Rally Rallycross track. A great little facility here. These guys have put some good racing on this afternoon, and the very first time for us here for the DRL Network live with DRTV to do some rallycross racing. I mean, we've done we've done road course stuff. We've done dirt racing. We've never done something as far as extremes, as far as jumping and whatnot. So certainly our first trek, we certainly had a good time. It's certainly been a long afternoon, for no doubt. Approaching now 2.5 hours on the air, approaching that 3-hour mark. So we'll certainly excited to see how this one is going to play out. Who's going to roll the dice from here? And Rich, I'm not sure how you hold it up down there. I know we've talked about it all afternoon. I mean, it's getting toward a dinner hour. What's good on the plate down there? I'm sure by now you've been quiet a little while. You must have food.
Nope, no food yet. I'm still here banging away at it and trying to keep up with this track. And definitely this is a long one. We're in for the long haul as we're getting, wounded down here finally. This has been one heck of an event. And, the good thing is we knew it was going to be like this when we came into this. We knew it was going to be a long event. And I'm just shocked. I really like this track. I'm glad we were able to get this track on. Oh, my goodness. They both just both of them just landed bad on those jumps. Good thing was they were able to get it under control as I was watching. But I'm just glad we were able to get this track out there and let the world see it and let everybody know how much fun this track actually is. But again, it's all about rhythm.
Well, and like you said, Rich, we knew what we signed up for today, a long race here with the NRSL clan, our first time over here and doing a 100% type rally race. We knew it was going to be certainly a long afternoon, but that's what makes us stick out. The thoroughbreds of sim race broadcast. We're veterans to doing this now. We've done these long broadcast shows before. They become a grind. We've seen a lot of caution-filled races over the years and a lot of long broadcasts, so we can do it like nobody else. If you'd like to book our services, we'd love to come over and showcase your league and what you've got going on. Head over to drlnetwork.com and book your date now. We got a lot of dates booking up here. We're going to be very, very busy over the next couple of months. Great broadcast rates to custom fit to all your league's needs. Get Rich, Todd, myself, Joe Allen, get us all over and showcase all the great racing you put on for any league out there. Welcome to all leagues. Don't matter where you get your race service from or whoever you does you're providing or whatever. We'd love to come over and showcase what you got going on. So DRLnetwork.com is the home of DRTV. Of course, our all-new talk show to DRL Network, DRL Live, airing every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be back on the air live tomorrow night with another installment. All leagues welcome to contribute to this product now, guys. Any race recaps, news, or any kind of information you'd like to get out to anybody out there, give us an email, drlive@drlnetwork.com. Be a part of DRL Live, all things sim racing. We'll be back on the air with that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we got a score to settle here now, Todd. Less than 10 laps to go at Island Rally here for NRSL. And we've had a race for the lead, a lead change. Zach Rodgers at number 3. He's put himself back to the race lead.
Indeed, he has brought himself back to the race lead in that number 3 machine. The 99 of Brandon Hawkins still all over his rear bumper. And we're looking up and down, and it's looking like these guys 38 seconds back to 19, and the 02 is 46 seconds back, Phil. Is that right? Is that what I currently got them scored? Did they come down pit road, or are they saving fuel that much?
They are saving that much fuel, Todd. Those guys have been just putting out there like a couple of Nancy's these last couple of laps. I mean, they are really in fuel conservation mode. But that may be the story of the race here, Todd. These guys may be their only chance to go to victory lane is saving all that precious fuel they can do. And, why not gamble at it? There's only 5 cars left on the racetrack. Brandon and Zach, they're out there parading around. DJ, he's been down on 3rd gear all day long, and that may affect him on the long run. His way is saving fuel, and we know Blake McCandless, he's a master of saving his equipment, saving fuel, managing his tire wear, so maybe something there. And don't count out Dean Woodward. I mean, I know Dean's probably really rusty here today, coming out in a place like Island Rally, doing some rally cross racing, but Dean's been a victory lane many a time, so maybe he's got something hooked up. Well, I mean, we'll never know, but I mean, that's definitely our top 5 finishers today. 5 drivers left on the racetrack. Noah Carmichael, the 76, he's pulled that behind the wall. He's called it an afternoon as well, so he'll finish up with a 6th spot. But our race now for the race lead, Todd. Here comes Brandon Hawkins as they head down through turns number 8 and 9, and the 99 sliding around the inside and put that 99 back to the race lead.
Oh, the number 99 back to the lead, and I'm still trying to get used to this new computer that I got out here, Phil. It's rather interesting, some of the different buttons I got to press. But the 99 machine now back to the lead. The 3 of Zach Rogers is running in that 2nd spot. It's interesting. I've been watching these guys, and I've been kind of mesmerized by them, so that's probably why I'm hitting the wrong buttons here on the board. But it's just interesting to see these guys. They're full throttle. They're racing really, really hard. And then you're watching the 19 and the 02. They are actually just back there, just riding around. Like you said, Nancy's. I call them Sally's. They're back there saving the fuel and trying to. That's about the only way that they can do it. Is looks like I'm hearing in my ear that the 34 of Dean Woodward may be stuck on the track somewhere. I'm not sure what happened to the 34 Dean Woodward. It looks like he's going to go a lap down here.
Yeah, it looks like he got off course a little bit, and the tow rope is out, and they're going to have to pull the 31 back all the way to pit road, and that's going to certainly just ruin any chances if he had any at all to come out and win this thing in victory lane. But tough break for Dean Woodward. But looking back to the front of the field, there's Rich will probably go back and try to find what happened to Dean there in the 34. But racing for the race lead, Todd, between Brandon and Zach, I mean, there was some door checking there through the right-hander, which at this point in the race, and these guys need to conserve their equipment and probably make one more pit stop. I can't believe at this point those 2 guys are racing that hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're racing so hard, but I'm going to throw it out to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has the replay queued up and ready. What happened to Dean Woodward there, Rich?
Yeah, all I can say is these are rally cars, and you got to drive them like one. Drive it until the wheels pop off of it. Drive it like it's an armored tank, whatever you want to call it. But you got to force issues with it and make it go where you want to go. And Dean Woodward got a little soft. We're going to watch this go through full speed. Gets a little bit too much into the corner. He's going to go slot right up off the track into that corner. We'll slow this down a little bit for a second. He's going to slide it in through the trees. Everything's looking fine. Right here it's tough because there's sand there, and it's hard to get off of this track. But he's got to gun it. He's got to come flying off of that hill, and guess what? He just doesn't have enough. He tries to get it off of that hill. Bumper grabs the hill, back tires up in the air. Dean Woodward stuck. Nowhere to go. Back tire's not touching the ground. Time to call a tow truck. He should have tried to jump it off of there, but that's tough for him because, again, he's trying to get off of that sand up there, so not sure what he could have done to get out of that, but tough break for Dean Woodward.
Yeah, and he's going to get that thing soldiered back on as they pull him toward pit road, but certainly going to end up no worse than 5th today for Dean, so I'm sure he's pretty excited with that run as well. But, looking down toward the race leaders, Todd, it's a gap now between Brandon and 99, Zach and the number 3. These guys, I'm guaranteeing, are probably going to have to come to the pit road at least one more time. But the story will be, how about the 02 of McCandless, the 19 of DJ Curtis? I'm thinking those guys with the gamble there, Todd. Is their gamble going to pay off?
I'm not sure if it's going to pay off or not. I just haven't heard any race communications. The chatter on the radio is kind of quiet. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull it off or not. They're kind of keeping it a little bit secretive. I think a lot of times as you look, and it looks like Zach Rogers coming down pit road in the number 3. He has to take it. So obviously he can't make an full field run here, Phil. He's got to come down. Zach Rogers on pit road.
Yeah, and I also have another developing story from a 3 camp. I got word from one of the drivers in race control. The 3 car, Todd, blew 4th gear. So that's going to be a developing situation for Zach. And at a place like this, at the high speeds you're turning, no 4th gear may be terminal. It's certainly going to damage his chances of winning this thing.
Well, you can use 3rd gear for quite a long time on this track. 4th gear you don't shift into to these massive straightaways here on the front, so it's going to cost him some precious seconds on the top side of this, towards the front stretch and some of the longer straights that they have. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. As now he's down and away. Zach Rogers is back on the track, and that number 3 machine going to have to wait and see how much damage that 3rd gear, just the 3rd gear only, is going to cost him.
Well, we know Zach has now made his service, and we'll see where he sorts out. But now we're going to await the race leader, Brandon Hawkins. Is he going to come to pit road next time by? These guys certainly going to be really, really close to the bitter edge, and the way these guys are running at the pace they were running. And we know Zach had to be short there. Brandon's got to be short where he pitted. But the question is, in the pace these guys run, did Blake McCandless save enough? Did DJ Curtis save enough? I mean, I know Blake real well. I mean, I think he's a master at saving fuel. DJ looks to be very comfortable in this situation as well. So we'll have to see. And as they go by the line this time, Todd, the 99 of Hawkins, he stayed out, so he's going to gamble on a couple of more laps here.
Yeah, indeed he is going to gamble on a couple more laps. I'm waiting for some of the scoring and timing to reset to see where actually the 3 came out on the end of this Zach Rogers as he was down getting fuel. So we're going to have to wait and see where he plays out compared to the 99 right now of Hawkins. But Hawkins right now is out setting the pace. He ran a 1.28.948. So 128.948 last time by. He's not saving any fuel, Phil. So you're going to have to. I'm wondering if he's just trying to get as much of an advantage as he can before he comes down pit road.
Well, Rich, you just chimed in. You said you had something, a question or something, so I'm going to throw it out to you.
Yeah, I don't know if the next time you guys get a driver on the interview or what have you, I would look into this question. If I remember right, back when we used to run this track, if you let that fuel get down to 1 lap to go, that's not enough to get around this track, I don't believe. I believe if they let it get down that low, they're not going to make it all the way around, if I remember right. It's going to be interesting.
Well, something else we'll have to keep an eye on. Insight there is Mr. TV Time. Rich Patton always gives us something good, and he may be onto something there, Todd. And it's been quite a long time since I've run this track as well, but that may be something to keep in the back of our minds.
Here comes the number 99 into pit road. The 99 of Hawkins as he locks him up really big time there. Aboard the number 99 machine. Going to have to wait and see what's going to happen here. I believe just fuel only is going to be the call here.
All right, so we'll see what's going to be the 99. I mean, probably just a splash of fuel at this point, I would assume, for our race leader. And what's it going to be here? The 99 on the sign, and the tires stay behind the wall. Just a quick gas and go for the number 99. Got that thing revved up, ready to go, and Brandon Hawkins, Todd, down and away. Now the question is, where is he going to sort out from where Zach ended up here on this round of pit stops?
I'm not sure. It looks like he's going to sort out quite a ways ahead. We're waiting to see how well he's going to sort out. I'm not sure. Zach just crossed the finish line, and the 99's already in the loop, so the 99 way out ahead.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be way out ahead. We'll have to see where the interval is next time around. And Zach parading out there with that, no 4th gear, as we said. We'll have to see how much time that's going to have him lose and how much time does Brandon stand to gain from it. But now less than 4 laps remaining of this thing, Todd. If you can believe it, nearly 3 hours into the show, it's certainly been a marathon indeed. But we're getting down to the last nitty-gritty of this thing, and we'll let timing and scoring cycle on next time by. Average speed of the race, guys, 87.338 miles per hour on 84 laps here. Island Rally Speedway, 2.85 miles around this thing. These guys, they've been up to the challenge today. 16 drivers took the green flag. 5 of them left on the racetrack. 4 of them left on the lead lap as of now, and we're going to let that timing reset itself, and we'll set the interval up. But Brandon Hawkins seems to have a really big gap on the field, and looks like he may be the guy, if all stays clean in his direction, he may pull that thing to victory lane.
Yeah, it's looking like that, but the race that's going to heat up there, Phil, through the field is probably that second spot. Like we said, Zach Rogers, no fourth gear. He only has third to go. Blake McCandless, I've been watching him. He's starting to reel him in. Slowly but surely is the O2 reeling him in. Did these guys have enough fuel to make it the distance? I think pretty much they've made their bet and think that they're going to make it.
Well, I think they seem to think so. I mean, there doesn't seem any urgency from pit road. I see no crews up on the wall, so obviously not. But and now that they've hit the start-finish line, to see the intervals where these guys sit, Brandon Hawkins has a 14.9 second lead over Zach Rogers. So that's completely, at this point, insurmountable, unless the 99 is to make a mistake. And, you know, with a place like this, it's certainly possible, but the way Brandon's been all day, highly improbable at this point. So the 99 in prime position. But it's Zach Rogers in that second spot. And as we documented, no fourth gear. He's going to be down a little bit of power. Does Blake McCandless, the O2, now have enough time and chase him down for that runner-up spot? Remains to be seen. Blake was 17.4 seconds behind Zach last time around, and maybe catching him now, and I believe he may be right there on the back bumper. So Blake, even conserving fuel, is going to be right there, but I'm not sure, Todd. I hear that car starting to sputter a little bit. So as we said, Blake may have made his bet, and we'll have to see what happens there. But if he's got enough fuel, we may see a good race for second here in about another 2 to 3 corners.
Yeah, Blake McCandless right there. He's only about 6 car lengths separating him and the number 3 of Zach Rogers. But does he have enough fuel? You can hear it, like you said, Phil. You can hear it sputtering here every now slightly on that O2 machine. We're going to have to wait and see. Is he going to be out of fuel, or is he going to be able to make it to the end? Zach Rogers right now running in that second spot. But O2 of Blake McCandless running third, and he's right there. So we're just going to have to wait and see, like you said, Phil. I'm looking at his time and scoring just to see how much that only third gear has hurt him versus the 99. Yep, 3 seconds lost to the 99 that last lap. So that's how much that third gear is hurting. Here comes Blake McCandless down to the inside. He's around Zach Rogers and put McCandless to second.
Yeah, put Blake up to position number 2, but the story is now Brandon Hawkins, the number 99, 86 of 80 on the board, and a 17.6 second advantage, which, if you think about doing rallycross racing, if anybody's familiar with off-road racing at all, an interval like that, it's not too surprising. I think it's something we kind of all expected here. These guys would get all sorted out and, you know, really strung out, and especially with the attrition we had here, you know, 16 started, 5 left on the racetrack, so naturally these guys are going to get sorted out a little bit. But I don't know if anybody anticipated, you know, the way these guys raced, you know, 3 and 4 car battles through the whole middle section of the race, that one guy would come out just, you know, completely bulletproof and drive away the way he has. But Brandon Hawkins has done all he's had to do to maintain the lead, Todd. He's made his service to pit road, so fuel should not be an issue at all. But now the question is the race to that second spot. We know Zach's been in. We know he's got fuel. He may have a damaged race car, but the O2 of Blake McCandless has not come in to top off on fuel. He's going to be gambling from here. So I guess the last drama to decide is, does the O2 make it all the way?
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. That's a gamble. The O2 is. We're coming up on lap 87 now, or 86 of completion of 86. So we're going to have 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are now in the air. That's showing to Blake McCandless, but the 99, 20 seconds ahead is Hawkins. Brandon Hawkins in that number 99 machine, looking to take home his very first win here on DRTV. And this is there's many, many firsts here this evening. First ever rallycross race here on DRTV. First ever trip to NSRL. So it's going to be interesting to see as the number 3 of Zach Rogers is in the grass. And Phil, take it away.
Oh, not only in the grass, he got upside down, did a little barrel roll, did a little dancing action. Don't want to take Rich's away because I want to give him something on a replay to show, but Zach definitely did the loop-de-loop, and we almost borderline had a super turtle there, or a turtle, if you will, but landed on all 4 wheels, got it back pointed, but I think Rich is going to have a pretty good replay to show there, Todd.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it as I was up there making sure McCandless was going to hold on to it, but it doesn't look like any yellow flags are going to come out after Zach Rogers' little stunt rolls that he did there in that number 3 machine, so we're going to have to wait and see. I don't think a yellow flag is indeed going to come out, but a white flag is coming out now for the 99 of Hawkins, but Mr. TV Time, Rich Pettin, can you show the replay of what happened to Zach Rogers real quick?
Yeah, most definitely. I got a question for you guys. Do you do the do? I don't know, but Zach does, and we're going to watch it happen right here. He comes off the corner, Again, right there, I'm going to slow it down. Gets that car a little crooked. Left front corner goes down, grabs the grass or grabs the road pretty quickly. Next thing you know, he's going up the hill, up through the grass, gets a little bit more air, and then here comes the hill. Upside down he goes. Let's throw some barrel rolls in there, up on the nose. Why not? Not much Rich-isms out of this one. Almost pulled off a turtle, but he decides to slowly roll that thing back over on the ground and try to get that car back out of the sand, back onto the track. So barrel rolls out of Zach. He's definitely doing the do, I would say. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and I'll do the do here. Just a little quick sip real quick and talk our way home to the finish for the final time. The white flag in the air. And now it's Brandon Hawken looking to make his last trip through the light bulb as he hits turn number 10 and 11. He's got a big advantage. He can smell the checkered flag from here. He exits 11 absolutely perfectly. Accelerates now to the left dog leg down the back straightaway and headed toward those last turns. Number 12 and number 13. The right-hander through 12. Here's the last right-hander through 13. The checkered flag is in the air. He can see it from here off of turn 13. It's going to be Brandon Hawken, Todd, taking the checkered flag and winning the NRSL Rallycross race today at Island Rally.
Now the next question is, I see the 19 of DJ Curtis out of field. Is the 02 going to be able to make it here to the end as he's down through the corner here, and now he's down through the final corner. Here is the 02. Now, does he have enough to make it down the straightaway? He's indeed going to be able to do so. Aboard the number 02, that is Blake McCandless, going to take home second in that Team Crush sponsored TDR Racing 02 as he does it in style there and almost killing some fans up there in the stands, but luckily the catch fence was there.
Yeah, he certainly made that interesting indeed. Now the race for the third spot, you said Curtis ran out of gas. Does it become Zach Rodgers? Zach Rodgers, Todd, is going to end up third in this thing, so tremendous rebound from him, and he puts it on the podium, so he'll finish up in the third spot.
Yeah, indeed, going to finish up in that third spot as DJ Curtis just sitting there. And it looks like he's going to have to get a tow as he's not moving anywhere aboard the number 19 machine. So going to have to wait and see. DJ Curtis looks like he'll end up finishing in that fourth spot because Dean Woodward was already 3 laps down. Dean Woodward, last car running on the track. He was 3 laps down, but he's going to finish up fifth. Sixth was the 76 of Noah Carmichael. Austin LaPlante in the 48 machine finishes 7th. The 83 finishes 8th. Martin Karch finishes 9th in the number 33. Todd Truen in the number 89. He brings home a top 10 here. Early retired from the event. The 56 of Adam Samsall finishes 11th, 12th. Frank Divins 13th to number 8, 14th to 93, 15th to 15, and rounding out your 16 car field, the number 1 machine finishing up 16th here. Great racing here this evening, Phil.
It was a great race. It was a long race, a 3-hour marathon here at the Island Rally Raceway. It was Brandon Hawken picking up the win in the 99 in tremendous fashion. A 24.7-second victory for the 99 machine over the 02, the Team Crush Motorsports machine of Blake McCandless, and the number 3 of Zach Rodgers will bring it home on the podium today. Let's see if we can't catch up with that driver of the number 3 machine. Zach, my friend, it's Phil from DRTV, buddy. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy on you.
Well, you made some spectacular fireworks there in those last couple of laps, Zach, getting that thing upside down, barrel rolling, but the 19 running out of fuel, able to bring that thing home third. I'm sure you're disappointed for third, but what'd you think of the racing out there?
It was absolutely incredible. I could not have asked for anything more. It's awful that I blew 4th gear at the end there, but the racing was amazing. I remember coming off turn 13 there. Me and DJ Curtis, we were side by side, and we both messed up that corner, and I knew Brandon was getting a run, and before he even made the move, I was like, you better make it 3 wide, and that was the peak of the race for me. I was so happy when he made it 3 wide. That was so much fun.
Well, and you'll have to go back and watch this later, Zach, but I'll be completely bluntly honest with you so you're not caught by surprise by it. But when I seen you roll out of it in that 3 wide situation there, I don't know if you were just smart or you were just chicken. I laid on the side of chicken. I wanted to see you guys go over that jump 3 wide, but if you guys were to do that 3 wide, do you think you guys would have came out the other end clean?
I'm not sure. I think somebody was going to end up hitting the jump wrong, and one of us probably would have ended up spinning out from it. But if we could have tried it, I think it would have been awesome. But, you know, I can't ask for anything more. It was a great race.
Well, Zach, on behalf of all of us here, you know, NRSL, of course, you're the proud owner of, and thanks for having us over here for the first time. And I want to give you the microphone one more time before we sign off for the night. Give a shout out to your friends, your fans, your sponsors, and tell everybody out there how they can find you guys at NRSL, because you guys do a good thing.
Well, on Facebook, you can find us if you look up NRSL Online Series. We got a group. It's closed, but we approve pretty much everybody. I guess I'd like to thank my sponsors. I had Mountain Dew and the Dishonored video game on the car for this race today. I'd like to thank my admin, Tristan Wilhoit, who was able to show up, and my other admin, Dylan Young, who unexpectedly ended up going to Orlando today. But I'd just like to thank everybody that shows up. Without them, we can't be a league. If we didn't have anybody show up, we wouldn't be able to hold these races. And I'm happy that even though this race was probably way too long, that I had fun during the whole thing.
Well, Zach, we did too. Look, once again, buddy, thank you for having us, and congratulations on a great third place run. We hope to talk to you again here real soon.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, Zach Rodgers in the number 3, going to finish up on the podium today in the 3rd spot. But Todd, I'm going to throw it over to you down. Now, I believe you caught up on runner-up finisher, Mr. Blake McCandless, who made that field gamble pay off and finished in that 2nd spot.
Yeah, indeed, I have caught up with the driver out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and the driver of the O2, Blake McCandless. Blake, I wasn't sure that gamble was going to pay off there at the end there. Saving fuel, you saved enough fuel. You end up bringing it home 2nd here tonight. Great run. Sort of what you were looking for tonight, huh, Blake?
Well, it was a 2nd place finish I was looking for, but I tried to tell you guys I actually came down pit road about a few laps into that last run. So I know that may ruin the fuel strategy, but it still brought it home 2nd. I was thinking about the 99, 19, 3. They were all just really, really fast, and they kind of went around me there and were gaining just a little bit of time. I don't know exactly where on the track. I think it was that first jump that they were fast, and I just couldn't figure out what they were doing. But I decided that if anything, I was going to come down pit road early in that run and be able to make it to the end. And hopefully, if a caution was brought out by either some people spinning or a big wreck, that I'd have enough fuel to make it to the end. Everybody else would have to pit, and at least for the restart, I would have the lead. I know I was able to keep the lead for a little while there while those guys were battling out behind me. So that was my best shot to take a win, but I'll definitely take 2nd place. And Zach ran out of 4th gear there. It's kind of unfortunate, but really proud to bring this Team Crush Ford to the podium and collect $20.
Yeah, indeed, that's awesome. That's NRSL put up some prize money for the top 3 guys and leading some laps. I believe you banked in on leading some of those laps out there on the speedway, Blake. But tell us a little bit about this race here this evening. I know you were with us here earlier and up in the booth, but it looked like if somebody was out there, how hard is it for the first timer to go out there and race a track like this? Is it fun or is it that hard?
It's fun. It's just and I think the most fun thing about it is it's a great challenge. So you're coming out here, and obviously I was able to put enough practice into where I thought I was comfortable. But you guys hit it in the booth, and it's exactly true. You just got to hit your rhythm, and you'll be fine. Which it was kind of hard for me because I didn't even take the grid. I was thinking, Lord, this is an 88 lap race, and you guys know me better than anybody. I just want to save my stuff and make sure that I'm in it at the end, not get tangled up in something early. So kind of running in the back there got me out of my rhythm for a little bit. So when I had about a run to get back in it, and then we had that pit stop where I was able to come out first, and that's where at least I was able to showcase what I had. But these guys were just getting faster throughout the run, and it's a little bit left behind. And actually on that last pit stop, I kind of nailed it into the wall. I was trying to kind of get in as fast as I could, and I had to poke it into the wall, spun it around. Didn't cost too much time, but I don't think it would have mattered. That 99 was fast today, and congratulations to him on the win.
Oh, Blake, one more time. We're going to finish up with you here down. Great 2nd place finish, but I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank whoever you'd like to thank who got here tonight.
All right, again, thanks, Martin Karch. It was a great paint scheme that I was able to run today, and thanks to all my Team Crush teammates. Y'all are the best in this community. I'd like to thank Citation Extend, get your BCAAs, and just everybody, any family or fans of mine just watching, appreciate the support and being able to put on a great event here. And again, I'd like to thank DRTV because you guys were in for basically a full afternoon. And won't give away the results of the Cowboys game because I actually don't know it either, because I know that may tick you off a little bit, Phil. But it was a great event, and something unique, and proud to be a part of it, and proud to wear the team crest colors today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, driving the number 02 TDR Racing Team Crush out of Raleigh, North Carolina, finishing up second here tonight, driver 02 Blake McCandless. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who cut up with the driver of the number 99 machine.
Hey guys, nice to be here.
Hey, yeah, there he is, Brandon Hawkin. We made it down here to victory lane. Brandon, one heck of a race, and it's interesting. Earlier on in the race, it looked like Zach was the car to beat, and then all of a sudden, it looks like maybe you found your groove, found your rhythm, and got right up there and started challenging him hard. I mean, there was a lot of pressure being put on him early in the race. Tell the race fans out there, for one, congratulations on the win, but tell the race fans out there what it's like with this track as far as finding your rhythm and really concentrating on getting off those jumps correctly.
I mean, yeah, this track's really unique. Is where all the grip is, and like you gotta really search around to find the grip, and like you could take the bottom of the track and have a little bit less grip and have the shorter line around, or you could take the high side over near the sand there and get a good run off. So it was really tricky trying to find the right line to use. But yeah, at the start I was kind of just taking it easy a little bit, and then taking care of the car. I'd go to the pits and repair the car just to make sure it was good for the end of the race. And near the end there, I started beating on it a little bit more. So yeah, it was a great race. Hats off to Zach. That was some great driving by him, and DJ too. He was there with us. He was missing third gear, I think, and he was still up there with us. So yeah, hats off to those guys.
Yeah, no kidding. And we also heard just towards the end of the race there, I think Zach also lost fourth gear towards the end of that race, if I'm not mistaken. So
it was right near the end there. I was taking it really easy on the transmission there, just trying not to, like, I was keeping out of the gas there while upshifting, just to make sure I wouldn't blow a gear early, and I guess it paid off.
Yeah, I hear that. The guys were joking with me earlier on. I'm running down here in the control booth trying to keep things up, and they say, "Hey, you got to check out the back of that number 99 car." And I'm like, "What?" So I went ahead and got you on camera. So go ahead and give a shout out to Mom, buddy.
Oh, hey, Mom, hey, Dad. I know my mom's upstairs. My dad's over at his house. Oh yeah, shout out to my guys at Primetime Racing over at Fast Racing League. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a great race, had tons of fun, and thanks guys for broadcasting this. It was good.
Yeah, it was definitely our pleasure. One heck of a race tonight, Brandon. And I will tell you, I have yet, in all the years that we've been broadcasting, I have yet to see anybody put that across the back of their bumper. So congrats on that. It gave us a big kick. And
thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. And congratulations on the win one more time. We'll give the floor to you. The mic is all yours. Congratulate who got you here, buddy. And again, congratulations on the win. The mic's yours.
Oh man, thanks for I guess my mom again buying me this wheel. It was actually 8 years ago. I was in grade 5 when I got this wheel, and it's held up pretty darn nicely. So yeah, thanks for that, and thanks for the weekends so I can race again. And because I'm in college now, so it's getting a little bit trickier to race on weekdays now. So and thanks to Zach for hosting this, and yeah, it was a great race.
All right, well, there you have it, race fans. Today's winner, the number 99, Brandon Hawkin. Congratulations. We'll let him get back with his family and friends and his pit crew and do some celebrating. Guys, back up in control tower. One heck of a race on one heck of a fun track.
Yeah, it certainly was. Congratulations to Brandon Hawkin. Having to, do that adulting thing, Todd. You grow up, you get out of school, you got to do the responsible thing and go to college and keep up on your stuff. But good to see Brandon out here. I know he's been out over in the SRA stables the last 2 weeks, and for a second straight week, and this week on DRTV, he picks up the big win. And hats off to him. He ran a great race, a very clean race, and played all it right, and comes down and he wins by 25 seconds. I'm not sure what more you can ask for on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely a great race, and it was a fun show to watch. And these guys put on one whale of a show. There was 4 guys competing for a win there at one point there, Phil. So it was interesting to see. So it was a long show, great race, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
Well, we certainly will. We got a lot of great dates coming up, so make sure you pay attention to our social media outlets on Facebook and also DRLnetwork.com for a full live broadcast race schedule. But of course, we have our new show, DRL Live, an all-new talk show dedicated to all things sim racing and beyond. Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back on the air tomorrow night with a brand new, fresh installment. So until then, one night from now, for Rich and for Todd, my name is Phil LaCasse. We'll see you next time for our next installment of DRTV on the DRL Network. Good night.